mature and professional. Amazing that I could feel this good from that.
Kosar adding he's not felt this good in years. He's out of the hospital in time to enjoy his 62nd birthday, which is today. Monday Night Football's heard right here on 92.3 The Fan. San Francisco beats Carolina 20-9. The 49ers 8-4 and come to Cleveland to face the Browns on Sunday. Cavaliers last night lose in Toronto 110-99. Donovan Mitchell just 17 points on 6 of 20 shooting. Cavs lose to Toronto, who won its 8th in a row. Cavs going scoreless over the final 4:37 of the game. Cavs held 7 players up because of injuries or rest. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next time for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
Thanksgiving food and The Fan. Catch Thursday's triple header on your home for the NFL in Cleveland. Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
Dylan Gabriel cleared concussion protocol. Shador will start this week. Obviously, number one job of quarterback is to win. So excited to get that first win under his belt. And then next thing is improvement. And that's what young players do. Certainly young quarterbacks do. You get one game better, and that's just from working. So that'll be our focus.
He has a lot of confidence in himself. You can tell by the way he just handles his business and the way he carries himself. But I think he went out there and he played hard, very competitive. A team player as well, though, good or bad, came back to the sideline. Let everybody know we straight. Gonna keep out there, keep going. So, that's what you want in a person, and it's only gonna get better as we continue to go.
The energy that comes with 12, man. He a funny dude. He always positive. Just a good dude to be around, man. My locker is kind of cat-a-corner from him. Always got good vibes, inspirational, and he want to be legendary. He want to be great.
Just wondering if this is sort of a week-to-week thing that you're doing with the quarterbacks now that Dylan has cleared the concussion protocol. Are you just going to watch and see if Shador can build on what he did when he plays against the 49ers and just kind of go from there?
Yeah, I'm just going to focus on this week, Mary Kay. Not going to get much past this week.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Well, Tone, good morning.
What's going on, Kenny?
My voice is a little rough today. Probably from shouting Super Bowl Super Browns at the top of my lungs at 6:01 yesterday.
And then I think we closed the show.
The Super Bowl Super Browns. It's true. It's true. Yeah, it's true.
And then, by the way, rinse and repeat every single time. And this only happens 3 or 4 times a year when the Browns win a game.
Yeah.
And we go on with our theatrics. Some show or some fan base somewhere else, they think that we really think that we're going to the Super Bowl. And so that happened yesterday.
It's just the internet.
And we got to deal with that every time.
Hell with them.
And then people are in the mentions going, no, they do this every time. Well, that's a joke, and that's why Cleveland is Cleveland. It's like, yes, that's us
why.
Chanting Super Bowl, Super Browns is at the heart of all the losing.
Yeah. You got me. Oh, boy. Yeah, boy.
But that was fun yesterday. Even Pony took his shot. I think they were just disgruntled because their season's kind of blown up right in front of their eyes.
Yeah, good. Wait, what did Pony say? What did Pony say?
He posted, I believe, the Super Bowl Super Browns clip. And then, wasn't even us yesterday, and I thought we'd come in, and I thought there would be debris all over the studio, and I thought we'd have to get corporate involved. Jonathan Peterlin. He shot off a cannon of confetti.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yesterday. It was awesome. It was amazing. It was everywhere.
Yeah, I saw that. That was fine.
And I think they even talked about it because Daryl was in for Nick. Nick was under the weather, and I think they were a little worried how you would respond.
Oh, God, I was kidding.
Confetti.
It was a joke, guys. It was a joke.
What'd you say?
I made a joke. I wrote at him in all caps, and I wrote, "You better have that bleep cleaned up by the time I get home." Like, I just wanted to sound like a goof. I wasn't being serious.
I thought Jonathan would hire a marching band to come on in.
Nice.
That would have been amazing.
If we lived in New Orleans, $200 you can get one of those street bands.
That would have been amazing.
Am I gonna? No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Stop taking everything I say. Not to the listeners. I don't care. You guys want to get worked into a shoot, that's on you. Excuse me. Of the non-locals who want to get worked into a shoot, who want to, for whatever reason, get into online fights about Shador, and they go, "I can't believe the local guys think they're going to the Super Bowl." No, we're 3-8. And we were doing this when Christian Kirksey said we weren't going to go 0-16. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
I can't believe I'm saying this. You don't get the show. Isn't that what the show that plays my drop now does?
Yes, you're the gas bag of the week.
You don't get the show. So get it and understand it. I'm going to do this when they're 15-0. They won't ever be. I would do this if they're 15-0, and I will do this when they're 0-15. It doesn't matter. Till the casket drops, we will do Super Bowl Super Browns.
Now
You mentioned
3-8.
If he goes out there and throws 4 picks in the first half and they get smoked on Sunday, I'll start the show Super Bowl Super Browns. I don't care.
Kenny, you mentioned 3-8.
I'll bleep and do it.
After what I saw last night, why not 4-8? Did you see the San Francisco 49ers last night?
They won the game.
Did you see them?
They won the game.
Brock Purdy, who,
But they won the game.
We have a checkered past. The two of us.
I don't think he knows.
Brock
I think
Purdy's
it's his
family, you do.
Yeah, I don't think he knows. I think his family does, you ass.
He threw 3 interceptions in the first half. It should have been 5.
Why do you do that? Why do you get all loud when you get drunk? You get louder than me when you get drunk.
I like to have a good time, Kenny. I like to make my presence felt.
Okay, for everybody who's joining us, Lima and I got to tell the backstory here. Lima and I went to an Iowa State game some years ago when Brock Purdy was a senior at Iowa State. And Ames, Iowa is basically Canton, Ohio. So it's like it's not even a big small town. It's just a small town.
It's like 3 bars you can go to.
I'm from Canton, Ohio, and I like Ames, Iowa. We were at the hotel bar. And it's like a restaurant. And there were a lot of people there. Sometimes hotel bars are like, oh, it's the plumber and scythe, whatever they call it. And there's some stupid crap there, and they try to church it up, but it ain't that good. There's a lot of people at this bar, at this restaurant. And this is post-game. And so we get back from the stadium. We were like a half a mile away from the stadium. And me and you and some family members of certain people affiliated with the program. That's why we are always wearing Iowa State stuff in here. Some people who are affiliated with the program are sitting together. Lima proceeds to get a few too many drinks into him.
The party must go on. We're staring at the inevitability of having to drive home 11 hours the next day.
Was it LSU? Yeah, it's true. Well, it was like 9.5. It's still long. It was like LSU and UCLA or something. Someone threw a bad pick 6. And Lima's on a roll. He's feeling himself. He's working the room. And he like shouts, "Boy, it looks like Brock Purdy today, huh?" And our buddy Scott's like, "What are you doing?" And Lima goes, What are you talking about? And Scott's like, "That's his parents and his whole family right behind you." And like, I did like one of them like quick little like sitting there like looking like this, like checking over my shoulder, and they're all just going. And I go, "You idiot, you ass." I go, "Well, you just shut up." So yeah, when they come into town, if the fine Purdy family comes into town, which I think they're from Arizona, so I don't know if they're going to come here. If the fine Purdy family come into town, yeah, you have beef with them, but Brock wasn't there. I don't think he drinks.
He seems like a nice
He don't seem like a
guy.
drinker.
Boy, he was trying to wheel and deal last night, and he's been banged up. What's the injury specifically?
Everything.
Because he looked like he couldn't drive the football, and I'm like, what? Can you imagine Jim Schwartz watching that game last night? And I know this is Christian McCaffrey, and one of their receivers slugged somebody and start a brawl later in the game,
what happens?
So he might not be available.
These things happen. What are you going to do?
So 49ers might be down. Another guy,
what are you going to do?
Jennings, but they're beatable. I mean, they're absolutely beatable. It's the smoke and mirrors season of a lifetime for Kyle Shanahan.
They are. No, they are. They are. No, well, he's doing... This is what proves him to be a good coach. And even though I don't like the guy, this is what proves for him to be a good coach. I can't take anything away from him as far as how he gets his team prepared, how he can get guys to believe in him. Because, again, I don't care for him, but, like, John Greco loves him. And, I mean, he called John Greco fat the second he met him. And John was like, okay, like, I'll do what you need me to do. And it's a different animal over there. So this is going to be great because Shador is now the starter. And when Shador's now the starter, I think things change a little bit. Like, I think a lot of us go, okay, solid play. Like, I think yesterday when he was announced as the starter, for a lot of Browns fans, it was great. Now where's the next step? Like, we were happy and exuberant to win, but once Kevin Stefanski goes, okay, we're going to make him the starter now, and he's going to start against San Francisco. And I know he's going to be non-committal for the rest of the year, but you get what I'm saying. As far as I'm concerned, he's starting the rest of the year until something really bad happens, okay? Hopefully that doesn't happen. But I think then all of a sudden we do start to switch to next week. And, all right, this was good. What can he do now to be more consistent? What can he do now to work within the framework of the offense to actually, because there's going to be teams that make you drive the ball on them, and you are going to have to establish drives and work the offense down the field against some of these teams, against San Francisco. And so you're going to have to see guys, and you're going to have to be able to make these reads. Like, I think that's part of the reason why some people are just fit to be tied. And I want to bring up the Jerry Judy thing again today. I think that's the reason some people are fit to be tied with Jerry Judy. It's like, dude, you're the number one. Suck it up. Stop pouting. Stop fumbling the ball. Get out there and do your damn job. Like, I think some people are pretty upset with that. And I thought he was trying to make a play, and some people are upset. And you know what? He's a pro. He's supposed to. He's supposed to make plays. He is your number one wide receiver. He might not be the number one on a really big competitive team. Well, we're not a really big competitive team. So you need everybody that you can count on, because I can't just have him go into the toilet and then it's like, okay, here's Cedric Tillman. Okay, great. Like, you have guys who are not supposed to be number one. So Jerry Judy's going to have to buck up and get going. That's where I stand on that, Tone.
Yeah, I think, but first of all, does anybody feel bad for Dylan Gabriel to lose the job like this? Because, right, is he out of concussion protocol now, but still is not starting? So he just lost his job. And it's I mean, let's be honest. There's one throw. He lost the job over one throw.
What, the Isaiah Bond throw?
If Shedeur does not complete the one throw.
Yeah, that's how bad Dylan Gabriel was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Even though people are pointing out his numbers were better than Shedeur's. I'm like,
okay, great.
Shedeur actually threw the ball deep and completed a pass.
If you are giving me those arguments, then I need to sit you down like a Clockwork Orange and hold your eyeballs open and make you watch those 6 games. And then you come back to me and tell me about numbers. You come back and tell me about numbers. Okay? If you didn't watch the game, that's the only excuse you might have to bring up numbers. If you watched any of those games and you come back to me with numbers, you're wrong. Or you're just trying to start an argument and make me upset. One of the two.
Well, if they still, the funny thing is, they could have won the game even without that throw. That's how dominant the defense was.
Yeah, that's fine.
So what would Stefanski have done if, let's just say, it's an incomplete pass there, and we are in a slugfest all throughout, and you end up winning the game anyway because your defense was so tenacious.
It would have been.
Would they have made the move?
It would have been very difficult to make the argument, but I would have sat there. It would have been difficult to have the argument, but I would have had the argument going, that's a better. We wouldn't have to play. What is the golf game that you put the loop on about?
That was NES golf.
Yeah, I'm glad he caught it, because then I don't have to. I'm glad he caught it, because then I don't have to sit there and go, well, that was a better deep ball than the other ones. And no, he caught it, and they got the ball down inside the 5, and then you were able to Quinshon Judkins it in. And so I don't have to make that argument now, because he looked down the field and made a throw. It wasn't just turn around, whip it. For all we know, a couple of them throws he meant to throw out of bounds on the other side of the field, Dylan Gabriel. It just didn't go that way. Listen, I'm not trying to be mean-spirited to Dylan Gabriel. I'm just telling you guys what the facts are. Is that if I'm going to go...
We even criticized a touchdown throw of Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
That some were saying, no, it was right on the money. That's how bad it had gotten, where we were criticizing touchdown throws.
I'll give him whatever he can get as far as positivity, I will give him, because it still doesn't give me much of a ceiling to go, yeah, that guy should start the rest of the year. If we're just all going to evaluate, like the Giants are already, I think, eliminated from postseason play.
They're the first team eliminated.
If we're that close to being eliminated, we'll probably be eliminated pretty soon. So if we're basically in evaluation mode, which we are, I'm going to evaluate a guy with a higher ceiling. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I'm with you.
So, and my plans haven't changed. I like Shedeur, obviously, but I think they're going to draft a quarterback. I'm getting ready for a quarterback. He has 6 games to change that. It's starting on Sunday. He's already got 1 under his belt. I'm a bit encouraged. Obviously, there's things that need to be cleaned up. I think his own team, Grant Delpit's like, oh, he was solid. So, guys on defense are like, yeah, there's some things there that I even think guys on their defense see some things and he's maybe on Sunday they're lucky he ain't playing against them. Now, that's one of the best defenses in the NFL. So this ended up being a really good opponent for him to play, because they tried to send the house. And like I said, that ain't Nate Wiggins back there. Mm-hmm. That's not Marlon Humphrey back there. That's a different animal. Even though that their defense has been a little bit maligned over there in Baltimore, it's different now. And so I think that with them, with Las Vegas, that ended up being a really good starter opponent for him.
When you had the lead.
Good timing. Yeah, and you had the lead. Now
special teams helped you out,
yes.
defense helped you out big time.
Now I want to see him grow. Now I want to see him grow and see what he can do and see if he can grow into the role, and maybe he can change our minds by the end of this year. Maybe he can change the Browns' minds by the end of this year. 216-474-0092. Are you starting to say that you can? It's Tuesday, and I know we're on an abbreviated week. Are you feeling like what they can win on Sunday?
I think the look-ahead line originally was up to 7 and now down to 6, and Brock Purdy is shaken, and this Browns defense is not a defense that you want to go up against on the road 3 hours earlier, having just played on Monday night, and have to go up against a Browns defense that, when the Browns defense is at home, they have been a different animal the last 2 years.
All right, I'll take that. 216-474-0092. Are you feeling different after watching Monday Night Football? And what Shador got to do to hold on to the job for the rest of the year? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app. Friends, Window Nation.
Don't trust anybody with your Cavs coverage unless they have sports in their name. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Just wondering if this is sort of a week-to-week thing that you're doing with the quarterbacks now that Dylan has cleared the concussion protocol. Are you just going to watch and see if Shedeur can build on what he did when he plays against the 49ers and just kind of go from there?
Yeah, I'm just going to focus on this week, Mary Kay. Not going to get much past this week.
That's Kevin Stefanski yesterday. He made Shedeur the starting quarterback. It's a week-to-week thing. I think it's a week-to-week with either of the rookie quarterbacks. I don't want to see Dylan Gabriel again, but I don't know how it's all going to go. Like, I think every week is a new adventure. And so it's like, I think there's a lot of Shedeur fans who want to set sail with Shedeur, and I'd like to set sail with him too, but I'm trying to be a realist here. Yes.
Well, you said it's a week-to-week thing with both rookie quarterbacks.
I think so.
I don't think it was there, at least in Kevin Stefanski's mind, before the concussion.
No, it wasn't, but I think it is now.
Yes, now, but I mean, I think if he gets a chance to go back to Dylan, at this point, if it's 1 week and then he goes, oh, we're going back to Dylan, Dylan's not back on a week-to-week deal. He's back to Dylan. It's got to be a couple weeks of Shedeur to submit himself.
No, I see that. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. 216-474-0092. John Greco going to join us 8:20 this morning. What's Shedeur got to do to keep the job? No, I think that's right. Because I look at Shedeur, and I think that, you look at what Dylan Gabriel did. Played terribly against the Patriots. And I remember when Coach Lance said, I went, I wish I would have said that on the air, when he had said, you want to see him now, how he responds after a really bad game. And how does he do that, especially if you're thinking there's any sort of a future with the guy as a backup or as a starter or anything. Then I think the same needs to be said about Shedeur. Like, at one of these points, every quarterback has a clunker. So at one of these points, there's going to be a bit of a clunker. How does he respond to that? So if he does go out against San Francisco and it's a bad day, unless it's just an unbelievably bad, I can't see it being like Johnny versus Cincinnati or anything like that in his debut. But unless it's like unbelievably, without reality being attached to it bad, then I'm like, okay, then he starts against Tennessee as well. And then we can sit here and have the argument, okay, good opponents, bad opponents, things like that. We can go ahead and we can do that. Now, Cam Ward threw his team on his shoulders back on Sunday. We'll talk about them when we get to there coming up next week. But I think for Shedeur, how he holds on to the job. And we got some nasty comments, not nasty, but very negative comments from Albert Breer's co-host on his podcast. We'll play those at 7 o'clock this morning because you got to hear him, because Albert might make things a little spicy this afternoon with Afternoon Drive. But seeing as how Shedeur played on Sunday, there's room for growth, but I didn't think he was completely lost the way that I was going to be afraid that he was going to be because of everything that was set up for this football game.
Yeah, it didn't. It certainly wasn't. The second half against Baltimore, which is a brutal spot to be put in, and I think a lot of quarterbacks would have struggled in that situation. Even good quarterbacks could struggle in a situation like that, given everything that we have seen. That game, just kind of going back and watching it, like you could tell, Shedeur's going to want to get out of the pocket. He's not going to want to sit and deliver in the pocket. So, you can get away with that against some defenses, especially considering I thought the Browns' pass protection held up in that game. And even when there was the slightest bit of a win for the Raiders in that situation, I thought he kind of kept his composure and stepped out. That Jerry Judy throw, that led to the fumble.
Yeah.
That was just that he looked like a veteran kind of getting out of the pocket, and there was nobody there.
Yeah, because I thought, are you saying he didn't drift as much as you thought he would?
No, he didn't do.
I didn't think he
didn't do any of this drifting was good drifting.
Yeah.
This was, hey, I'm getting out of the pocket and I'm going to look down the field and I'm going to buy time. I'm even going to orchestrate with my hand. Hey, get open. So I thought that was like really, really
the same
impressive.
Way you did. Yeah.
Now, he wasn't under fire. I think he will be, even though this is not the same San Francisco 49ers defense that, had potentially 2 Hall of Famers in it earlier this year, and Greenlaw as well. They don't have those guys. So they have not been able to generate as much pressure. You did see last night some. So I do think they're going to get to Shedeur more than what we just saw with the Raiders. But I think there's going to be opportunity there for sure. Now, Robert Saleh, I mean, he's knocking on the door of getting another head coaching job. He's done such a great job.
He knows what he's doing.
Year.
He's doing a good. I mean, once you're the head coach of the Jets, I don't think that should expel you from ever being a head coach again, for crying out loud. And I think there were some good things and some obviously not so good things that he did with the Jets. But going back to his defense, he's going to have them prepared and they're going to be ready. Like, this is going to be a different one. But I agree with you. I was afraid he might do the drifting thing. And I thought when
he didn't panic under pressure.
I thought there was a concerted effort, but he didn't look robotic, trying to stay in the pocket. It didn't look like he was trying to force himself to stay. He wasn't terribly uncomfortable. He got sacked a couple times, but I thought that there was a lot of things there that he did to correct from the game against Baltimore. So it should give you a little bit of positivity going into the game against San Francisco. Again, it's going to be difficult. I'd like the routes to get a little bit shorter. I'd like him to be able to, and we found a little bit with Harold Fannin. We found a little bit with a couple other guys. I'd like some of the routes to get shorter. There were a couple of series where I thought that some of the routes went a little bit too long, and that's going to leave him to think and move his feet around a little bit too much. I'd like him to be boom, boom down the field, get yourself some confidence, and then get going again. 216-474-0092. Rodney and Litchfield, you're first up in the Fan.
Good morning, guys. How are we doing this morning?
We're doing okay, Rodney. Go ahead.
Well, my first comment is I'm not sure. I thought Stefanski would wait till like Wednesday or Thursday to announce the starter. What advantage? The Browns, there's no reason to announce it. The team knows who's starting. The starting quarterback knows who's starting. Why should we let San Francisco know? I mean, I don't need to be appeased. I know I'm a fan. The media doesn't need to be appeased. Why not wait a few days? I mean, what would it have hurt to wait a couple days, except for everybody in the country or everybody in Northeast Ohio getting in?
What's the advantage? What's the advantage of not saying it?
Well, the defense has got to prepare for two different quarterbacks.
Does that really matter in a lot of ways? Because I think it matters more than. Hold on, I think it doesn't matter more. Then I'd rather not have my players have to answer a bunch of questions on which quarterback that they would like to see or which quarterback are they more comfortable with throwing or anything like that. So if you get it out of the way on a Monday when the players, I know there's select players available, but it's not like the locker room's open. When you get that out of the way on a Monday, then you just move on with it. And then by Wednesday, after your first practice and the media's in there, well, then they're already prepared and we're getting ready with Shedeur. And then there's not going to be questions about comparing Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders.
Okay, I mean, if you don't think it's advantageous,
Rodney, Rodney, if we were in the playoff hunt and these games were life or death, maybe it'd be different. I also know, Rodney, and Kevin will never admit this. Do you know the things that these ex-players are saying about Kevin? Not Browns players, guys that don't even know Kevin Stefanski. You know what they're saying about Kevin right now?
Really nasty things.
They're calling him a racist. They're saying he hates Shedeur Sanders. He's sabotaging him. Kendrick Perkins, this idiotic stuff he's saying. Cam Newton's doubling down on stuff, despite the fact that we learned that they had been working extra time
with
called Cupcake Ass. Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah. The former basketball player.
Rodney,
yes.
I think even though Kevin would deny it, I think he does not need to let this thing dangle out there and have everybody continuing the assault on him and his character. Like, he just doesn't need that.
You. Well, so here's what I wanted to say about the game. So special teams actually was halfway decent. Mm-hmm. We haven't seen that every game, right? The defense didn't give up a game-winning drive, which we've seen twice this year that I can remember. The O-line, I thought, played one of their better games. Now, is that because of the quarterback, right? What came first, the chicken or the egg here? But the O-line,
Conklin back helped.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. That helped. And I'm not taking anything from Sanders. I, like you guys, he didn't seem to be in panic mode. The entire game, I didn't see really any panic mode. I saw moving up into the pocket, looking down the field. Anybody who watches the game, besides wins and losses, should have seen 3 or 4 things happen that hasn't happened certain weeks. And it wasn't just
without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Throwing the ball down the field. God, we haven't seen that since Flacco.
Without a doubt, yes. Rodney, thank you very much for the call. You know, and let me go back. I was trying to lock in and pay attention to Rodney. When did I'm glad I could agree with Rodney on something before we had to end the phone call here, because I got to get back to this. When did Kendrick Perkins, he called him cupcake ass?
Just on Sunday, people were teeing off, especially when he didn't get a game ball, when they took him off the field in the red zone.
He retweeted and quote tweeted the video of the post-game locker room speech. And Kevin, after wins, gets up, lets a few F-bombs fly. He took that video and put cupcake ass, along with other words. But that's how he started the tweet.
This is Kendrick Perkins.
Yes.
But it's not just him.
Real Kendrick Perkins.
It's not just him.
Cam Newton.
It's so many guys.
I can disagree with Cam Newton. Cam Newton has credibility. Cam Newton's been in a locker room. And you want to talk like if Cam Newton was calling people soft, I'd go, hey, Cam Newton rolled his truck down the highway and then played that Sunday. Cam Newton's played under duress. I can disagree with Cam Newton, but I'll respectfully disagree with Cam Newton. Where's Kendrick Perkins? It might as well be Kendrick and Parma or Kendrick and Canton or whatever. The guy just sounds like an idiot who calls in and says everybody's soft and everything is soft, and then that's it. The Cavs are soft, the Browns are soft. Do you even watch the sports you analyze? Do you even watch them? Like, it's easy for me to say the Cavs are soft and not watch the Cavs. It's easy for me to say guys are soft and not watch them. It's easy to do that.
I just know this.
He could come in here and bounce my head off the walls. I don't care about that. That's fine. I'm still going to think he's an idiot when I come to. That's ridiculous.
It's just the sheer amount of people that have never been in that locker room that are going after Kevin Stefanski. And I wonder what Shedeur thinks. Because Shedor's there. He's living it. I don't know how he feels about his relationship with Coach, but I wonder how he feels that everybody is speaking on his relationship with the coach. And the fact that they're all making him a victim every
trying
day.
to keep his head down and getting going.
I don't think Shedeur has bought in at all to this victimization that his fan base and that all these ex-players and all these people that are trying to represent him. Like, I haven't heard any of that from Shedeur. And that's kind of like got to be annoying to Shedeur Sanders to have to hear what a victim he is every day from guys like Cam Newton and Kendrick Perkins and so many others.
Well, again, Cam Newton played in the game, and I will give him gravitas as a former NFL quarterback.
Who had conveniently forgot that, one of his backups, Brian Hoyer, never got any first-team reps when he was talking about
that's true.
The rep situation.
That's
so, yeah,
true.
A little foggy memory on that one.
216-474-0092. No, I agree with you. I don't think that Cam Newton's stupid, or Shedeur Sanders is stooping to any of that, and I don't think it would do him any good, and I don't think he knows it wouldn't do him any good, and he's not going to do that.
And by the way, thank goodness he didn't, because if he did, I think there would be less support in the locker room for him. I think other guys would be like, come on, you're a rookie, you're a fifth-round pick. And he's not doing that. So I think that's why he's been able to win over some of the locker room.
John Greco coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Up next, you wanted it, you're about to get it in high school football here in Ohio. Ken Carman, Toadmaster General. That's in 5 on the Fan.
Anthony Lima, 4.
lanes with Easy Pass while saving an average of 33% on tolls. Visit OhioTurnpike.org. Brought to you by 7-Eleven and the Ohio Turnpike. A better way to travel.
Turkey or ham? Who the hell cares? Stuff your face and take in football Thanksgiving Day on the Fan, the radio home of the NFL in Cleveland. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
We'll get back to Shador coming up at around 7 o'clock. Albert Breer might have to answer for some spicy comments. I don't know, answer it. Might just have to explain a little bit on Afternoon Drive today. There were some spicy comments on his podcast about Shador's performance against the Las Vegas Raiders. That coming up at 7. However, we brought this up a couple years ago, and I will admit, I was very hesitant to it. Lima and I know some very, 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 very good business partners here at 92.3 The Fan. We've also ran across some charlatans of downtown, charlatans of the area, greasy individuals here and there. And because of that, I got a little bit worried when I first heard about NIL for the high school players. Now, when I find out that we're one of 6 left that didn't have NIL up until yesterday, it's like, all right, it seems to be working in some of these other places. Plus, I think it's probably, now I've fought this for years just because I'm a traditionalist when it comes to some of the stuff. It's probably going to give people what they want, which I think that has its good points and its bad points. But if we're going that way, we might as well just go full bore. I think it's going to end up giving people their public versus private that they've wanted for so many years. I know Baskin has talked about it a lot over the last 14 years here on The Fan. With NIL being changed.
What do you mean they're going to change all the playoff rules?
Well, no, let me explain this here. Now, NIL is going to be allowed, is now officially allowed with the OHSAA, which means that a high school kid can get name, image, likeness. Which what we found out over time when it comes to college is just basically, yeah, you come here, you play, and we can use your name, your image, your likeness, but here's some money. And I don't think it's going to bastardize college or high school sports here as much as what some of us think it is. I do think it's a way that an Ohio State booster can make sure a kid in Ohio stays at Ohio State. I think that that's part of it. But I also think that, yeah, people have wanted public versus private since you and I were kids. And I think that this might change things where, hey, you are basically allowed to do a lot of things in private school that you're not allowed to do with public school. There is big time boosters at some of our private schools in the Cleveland area, Cincinnati area, Columbus, and I think that it would probably start to expedite the process of public schools play in their own league, private schools play in their own league, and away they go because of the haves and the have-nots. I think that that's where this ends.
I don't know. That would be a dramatic change.
It would be.
That would be overhauling the entire setup.
It's something that they've talked about for years, even before NIL.
Is it really, like, I think about when NIL came around, and I remember asking, a couple of people involved with Power 5 schools, but that were not Ohio State, and they weren't Michigan, and they weren't, the top schools in the country. And I was like, how much NIL are you guys really getting this year? And they're like, almost none. Almost none. A Power 5 school. And that was, 3 years ago, and now things have changed even more because of the lawsuits, and there's money that they actually have to spend now as part of the lawsuits that went down over the last few years.
Yeah.
So it's changed a little bit. But if the Power 5 school wasn't getting money, how much is really going to be spent on the high school level in Ohio?
Probably not too terribly much.
Yeah, I think these are big headlines. I don't think. I disagree with you. I don't think there's much is going to change.
I think a lot of people disagree with you with what you say. I mean, I got coaches texting me about war chests already involved in private schools and things of that nature. I mean, I'll tell you that right now.
I don't deny that there were some quick reactions to this, and that this was going to sully high school sports.
I didn't get that texted to me yesterday. I got that texted to me months ago.
Yeah, I'm not buying that this is going to dramatically change any kind of landscape.
Ken, do you think private schools are going to benefit more from this than public schools will?
Why would public schools benefit more?
Well, I think private schools have already been living in this sort of realm.
Well, sure.
Haven't they?
But now they can do it straight to the player.
obviously take more advantage of this and not have to worry about the backlash and repercussions of being caught.
I think that I think I can name many private schools that will be, at least for a year or two, I don't know how long this would last, but be able to establish a fund for high school football players where I could maybe name one or two public schools that may be having the wherewithal to do so. And I think one could last, but I don't think any of them could last for any more.
I mean, in these big school districts like Menor, like there's a bunch of business owners.
I think in a lot of the places that are up and coming with the housing markets the way they are and the houses being built, it's real easy to get people to move in now because you have all this extra opportunity to move kids in.
But you've been able to do that before, and they really weren't able to do that.
Yeah, but you weren't allowed to be public about it.
Okay, what's that got to do with the price of fish?
It has to do with the price of fish that now you can actually tell people, yes, we will give you money. And there's nobody that had... I mean, you have teams that... Who was the team that further down south that got suspended for the rest of the year in football, right?
Ironton?
Yeah, Ironton, right?
Well, that's now they're from different states.
But none of that, but none of that matters anymore.
I do believe you still have to have, when you don't have open enrollment, you still have to have a address that's there. Now you can do a whole lot of things,
right,
but you can talk about how it was unspoken before and now it's spoken about. I don't think that's going to make any bit of damn difference. I mean, if a business owner, if you have a bunch of business owners are in the area, and if they want to get together and put it in for X high school that's in whatever county that's a public school, fine. But I think we already would have seen that now. Where it is private schools, I think you just add in more going, hey, it's more money to keep this program. You want to bring in these guys, we can bring in these guys, but it's going to cost more. They can be as open as they want to about it or as private as they want to about it, but it's still the same advantages that are given. I mean, that's the whole reason people claim to send their kids to private schools, so they have advantages that the other ones don't.
I guess I'm just wondering, are like let's say the example, the best, maybe the best, and I don't know wrestling, so I know we have some of the best wrestlers in the country, right? They're around here. Oh, and you would know all that. And we do have really good football here, but, like basketball is the one where like a LeBron James or to a lesser extent, like that Darren Peterson, who is at CVCA. He ends up playing at an academy the last few years, so he's not even here. Do we think money could have lured him to stay here in Northeast Ohio? I don't know, because you want to play against the best competition, and that's not happening anymore.
Well,
you'd go to the academy. So I just don't know where this money is truly going to be spent and how much is going to be spent.
Well, so I'm reading here, Garfield Heights, Marcus Johnson, right, opted to stay here as opposed to go to one of these academies where he could go to a state where they were giving him NIL. You're not going to have that move out. That's where I think it affects public schools more.
Well,
I don't think you're going to have kids move as much if they have the opportunity to make a few dollars staying in Westlake instead of going to St.
Well, wait a minute. Is Marcus Johnson Michie Johnson's brother?
Cousin.
So that would mean that it's Sonny Johnson's nephew?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's family. That's a different. Like, if your uncle wasn't the head basketball coach...
I didn't write the story, Ken. I'm just
Sonny's son is Marcus.
Okay, but you're bringing up an example there that when family's involved, family's going to be involved.
Okay.
If his uncle wasn't the basketball coach, would he stay? I don't think so. 216-474-0092. I think it will give a advantage to those that can get the fun going.
Like I think a quarterback from a state that's not a football-centric state, like I do believe that one of the power schools in Northeast Ohio could get him to come in. So I do think that's where money would be spent. But I don't know that they're emptying out their coffers for 40 kids on the football team. I just don't think there's enough money.
No, 216. But I don't know if it's going to make that big of a difference. It could make a big difference in basketball, but if it does, how long is it going to do so? But I do think you have had a strong, and I know we got to go. I don't want to sit there and stick my head in the sand. I mean, we've been talking about public versus private since the station started. And I think that this starts to give the wherewithal to those who want to make that split and have been wanting to do so here in this state for the last 30 years. Coming up at 8:20, John Greco joins us on the show. 8 o'clock, John Greco joins us on the show. I beg your pardon. Neutral Zone with Rat Boy and the Hog at 8:45. And Albert Breer joins Afternoon Drive every Tuesday. There was some spicy comments about Shedeur Sanders on his podcast yesterday that we have to play because he might have to answer for this afternoon on The Fan. Extend Technologies in Broadview Heights. XTEND AV.
Weekdays starting at 2. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
All right, we are going to get you outside as we take a live look out over Hutchison Square in Somerville as we inch closer and closer to the Thanksgiving holiday. But that's only part of the reason. Yes, sir. Part of the reason why I wore brown today. The other is right here. Super Bowl, Super Browns.
I like it.
Yeah. We've only had 3.
That's the only reason why I'm working this evening.
Why is that?
Browns fan. We had a good night. We actually won a game for.
I know. Once. Yes. This is the 3rd time this season. So any other Browns fans out there, I know that you are reveling right now.
That is audio courtesy of Live 5 News in Charleston, South Carolina. That's Justin Kohler. Who's the guy he's with?
The co-host.
Well, is he? Okay.
I couldn't tell you.
I'm sorry, Justin. This is very, very bad. I should know this, but I don't know.
Well, hold on. He's on the Low Country's news leader. Live 5, WCSC.
I've been through Charleston, South Carolina a time or two. That was good times.
We've wanted to, do a vacation there. If we stop through, we've got to say hello. He is a big-time Browns fan. He's not even from Cleveland.
Well, the other guy's a Browns fan, too, it seems.
Okay.
You meet Browns fans everywhere.
Yeah.
Even at work in Charleston, South Carolina. So there's Justin Kohler and his friend, which I wish I could say the name, but I don't know the name of your buddy. I'm sorry, Justin.
The Low Country's top 2.
Yeah. So I see the bio.
I'm sorry, guys.
He tweeted us, so thank you very much.
Yes.
Justin. And he even got the part of it, which, of course, I think that was a Freddie Kitchens extension.
Well, he added hell yeah.
Oh, we couldn't do that because...
he can't do that on TV.
Yeah, no way. But...
You're getting nasty emails from Agnes.
It says here, hobbies and interests. When he's not in the newsroom, Justin's likely out running, fishing, walking the beach, tinkering with his pop-up trailer, or cheering on the Browns with his wife, Nikki. He's a 4-time Michigan master angler and a former All-State track and field athlete.
Where'd you get the bio?
On the website.
Oh, I thought you were making that up.
No, come on. When I go to lowcountry.com, I am getting all... that makes Justin Kohler
looking for the anchor that he was talking to, but now I'm on Palmetto Life.
So Michigan angler.
Yeah.
Good for him.
You putting weights in fish?
No, he's not. I mean, come on. This is a man who's...
He's on the up and up.
Yes.
Come on.
This is an anchor. This is a true newsman.
Nice.
He went to Missouri. He did not go to Syracuse, so you know he's good with me.
Yeah. We're going to play some audio from somebody that went to Syracuse coming up here.
He's a good man. Yeah, is this Albert Breer went to Syracuse? No, Connor Orr went to Syracuse. All right, so, but thank you very much, Justin. We hope you're doing well down there in the Low Country in Charleston, South Carolina. By the way, they talk about the Low Country and the Murdaugh murders.
Oh, boy. I'm sure they've covered it substantially on the Low Country news leader.
I'm sure he has. Anywho, so that was nice to hear.
Very nice.
Of course, they got those mics right there, so you can't really get loud. Like, I can back up from the mic and yell, but then I lost my voice because of yesterday. So that was Justin. Thank you very much, Justin. Here is, now, the first clip we have is Albert Breer, right? All right, this is Albert Breer on his podcast. Mm-hmm. This is the Monday Morning Quarterback Podcast. Albert Breer, who's on today with Afternoon Drive.
It's going to get heated today. I can already tell.
This is what he said about Shedeur Sanders. Is this what he said about Shedeur? All right, Albert on Shedeur. Go.
One thing I would say for him is I think we saw enough to want to see him again. I'll be very, very clear on this. I do not think the Browns quarterback for 2026 is on the roster right now. I don't know how much Shedeur can do to change that, but there's no rush to figure it out anyway. He's under contract for another 3 years. I'm with you. I think this was the perfect Tebow mania type of experience.
Yes.
Where he throws a screen pass that gets recorded for 66 yards. And it's Shedeur Sanders threw a 66-yard touchdown pass. Well, yeah, but it's like Tebow throwing the ball to Demaryius Thomas at the end of that game. And I think it does have that Tebow mania element of weird stuff happening sometimes, or that this game did. Again, I don't think he's going to be their quarterback in 2026. I think you're insane if you think that. But I think you did see enough to want to see a little bit more. And look, it's entertaining, right? We're here covering an entertainment product, and it's entertaining. So have at it, America. Have at it, Cam Newton.
All right, that's Albert Breer.
I will say this. All the headlines, because, look, this is all for profit. You got to make money somehow. Mm-hmm. Every headline about that touchdown was Shedeur Sanders' debut touchdown pass. And I wonder if Dylan Sampson's I was the one that did the work on that one. He got it to me, though. That's better than his predecessor.
Does it count as a touchdown in Dylan?
Remember that guy trying to throw screen passes?
That was rough. Do you remember? Does it count in Dylan Sampson's stats as a touchdown?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know how much Dylan Sampson really cares. Maybe he does. Probably doesn't.
But certainly the headline.
We have Dylan on it.
Okay, here's Dylan Gabriel or Dylan Sampson.
No, it felt great. Come up in a big moment, kind of put some closing finishes to the dub we got yesterday. Yeah, this season kind of been long for me, just staying down, staying the course, working every single day at practice, doing what I can. Just the moments you work for. You work for opportunities like this, and you got to take advantage of it.
There you go.
He should get some due, absolutely.
So this is still the Monday morning quarterback, and this is Connor Orr, this is the first time I've heard this guy, so we're all hearing this together. Lima's heard this. Keith has heard this. Others have heard this. Owen has heard this. So you and I, folks, we're about to go on an odyssey together. I have not heard this. Here is Connor Orr, co-host of the Monday Morning Quarterback, with Albert Breer, who you'll hear this afternoon today on Afternoon Drive.
I thought that the game plan was hilarious. The reason why is at every instance, Shedeur tried to take the governor switch off the car and to push the throttle all the way to 90. I think that's exactly what Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees didn't want to happen. The Browns' confidence in Shedeur can be defined by this. Every time they got into the red zone, it was Wildcat, and he wasn't on the field, okay? They punted from the opponent's 27-yard line. Ross Tucker even said at the booth, he goes, I've never seen this before in my entire life. I mean, that's how bad the Raiders' offense was, to be fair, and you're sort of playing within the flow of the game there. But it was check the ball down, don't make any mistakes. And still, Shedeur would pull the ball, roll out, and fling it deep every chance that he got. And it's unfair of me to say that I don't see it. He clearly has talent, but I think that he's got to learn how to play in an orchestra first. And I think that there was a push and pull there that didn't sit quite well with me.
All right, I'm going to comment on that here in a second. Here is Kevin Stefanski's answer about the 4th and 2. He wasn't asked about this Sunday in the postgame. He was asked this yesterday. Here's why he punted at like the 29-yard line or whatever it was.
On the second one, could have gone for it, could have attempted a field goal, but just felt like with where the game was, just wanted to be conservative there and make sure that game ended shortly thereafter.
Again, I don't understand why you can't just kick a field goal with Andre Schmidt. I don't. It wasn't like the conditions were terrible. Unless there's a huge wind that we don't know about in the indoor Allegiant Stadium, I have no idea why you couldn't just kick a field goal there, which is always going to be questionable. I think Ross Tucker and the rest of America kind of wondered what the hell you were doing. Like at first, I thought it was at like the 40-yard line. I go, oh, I've had too many Busch Lights. I got to take a care. Because if it's at like the 40-yard line, you're like, okay, 57. You don't want to do that. I'm like, wait, it's like the 28-yard line. So I don't understand. I still don't get it, and I guess I won't get it.
And what ends up being a 19-yard punt, so they did down it at the 10.
Guys, I thought, see, this is, I think that this is part of the issue here, is, and maybe Connor Orr is going to end up being right by the time it's all said and done. Who knows? I know that Albert Breer, for whatever reason, he can't stand the craziness that's gone on. Okay, I live in crazy land. All right, I'm a sports talk radio show host. You are as well. I'm not a big J journalist. I live in crazy land. Now, I try to say what I think and not try to go for the gusto all the time. And sometimes I've sounded like I'm trying to go for the gusto and give hot takes. But it is what I think at that time, and I can't deny that. It's exciting to win. And it was exciting to me to watch this offense actually have a chance to push the ball down the field. If they just wanted to handcuff everything, I think they basically got their wish. I wondered about when they went in the red zone twice, and I brought this up yesterday, I wondered how much did you really practice in the red zone, because you do not want to put him in shotgun at the 5-yard line and have him throw a pick. Because remember, when you got 30 yards in front of you, there's places where you can send guys to hide. You can't hide when you're at the 5-yard line. Everything's right in front of you. So that's why it becomes tougher to score in so many ways. So you didn't want to put him, if you've only practiced an offense 3 times and you've had a few minutes of red zone, because I don't know how much you're going to change your practices for a new guy starting. If you haven't had that much red zone experience, you're not going to put him in a position to go out there and turn the ball over in the red zone and create bad things for your offense.
Well, the other part of this is, too...
So I understood the decision to do that with Quinshon Judkins.
Of course, and people either haven't been paying attention As I saw some people saying, well, this is clear that it's a Shedeur thing, that Stefanski doesn't trust him at all.
I disagree.
I don't think he trusts either.
Do you think that's what Connor Orr's saying?
Hold on. Go back to the Miami game. Remember when that's where we learned about this new wrinkle, this wildcat wrinkle that was going to be successful, and it worked in the Miami game? And who was the quarterback in the Miami game, Kenny?
It was Dylan Gabriel.
It was not Shedeur Sanders. So I don't think he trusts either quarterback down there by the red zone. I don't think it's a coach who is not expecting or doesn't want his young quarterback to ruin everything that his defense is kind of setting up for the entire team.
So do you believe there's listeners who think we overrated Shedeur Sanders' performance on Sunday?
Sure, yeah.
Not just with Super Bowl, Super Browns.
Yeah,
that was tradition, and we're going to do that every day. I don't care about that. Do you think that there are people who think that we've overrated Shedeur's performance?
Yes.
Because I hear Connor Orr, and he does not have a good bedside manner. He reminds me of somebody. I think we know who we're talking about over here. However, I want to give an explanation, and I want to know if it sounds like an excuse when we come back. 216-474-0092. John Greco, 8 o'clock on The Fan. Friends, Ken Carman here for Class.
99, Donovan Mitchell, 17 points on just 6 of 20 shooting. Cavs win scoreless over the final 4:37 of the game. Cavs holding out 7 players because of injuries or rest. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show tonight, 7 o'clock, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Coming up at 8, John Greco going to join us on the show. What's Shedeur have to do to keep the job? Also about last night at 7:45, where little birdies are chirping in Tone's ear, telling him who might be playing and who might not be playing for the Buckeyes against Michigan. Whoa!
Oh, boy, am I getting DMs, messages.
We'll find out. Well, the birdies can't send DMs, can they?
They learned how. Okay. Yeah, things have changed. They've evolved. Posable thumbs.
They literally send tweets.
I talked to some people, they say birds aren't real. Think about that one.
Whoa.
Neutral Zone with Rat Boy and the Hog coming up at 8:45. So I want to play this Connor Orr again. This is from yesterday on his podcast, Monday Morning Quarterback with Albert Breer. Albert's going to be on Afternoon Drive today. He comes on Afternoon Drive every Tuesday. Albert has a better bedside manner than Connor Orr. Connor Orr said several things. Now, it's going to come off mean-spirited, and maybe it is. But I want to know from you whether I am explaining this to Connor Orr or I'm excusing this, because I think there's a tremendous difference. Here's Connor Orr on a Monday Morning Quarterbacks podcast yesterday.
I thought that the game plan was hilarious. The reason why is at every instance, Shedeur tried to take the governor switch off the car and to push the throttle all the way to 90. I think that's exactly what Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees didn't want to happen. The Browns' confidence in Shedeur can be defined by this. Every time they got into the red zone, it was Wildcat, and he wasn't on the field, okay? They punted from the opponent's 27-yard line. Ross Tucker even said it in the booth. He goes, I've never seen this before in my entire life. I mean, that's how bad the Raiders' offense was, to be fair, and you're sort of playing within the flow of the game there. But it was check the ball down, don't make any mistakes. And still, Shedeur would pull the ball, roll out, and fling it deep every chance that he got. And it's unfair of me to say that I don't see it. He clearly has talent, but I think that he's got to learn how to play in an orchestra first. And I think that there was a push and pull there that didn't sit quite well with me.
So the last point he makes about learning how to play in an orchestra first, I would agree with that. I don't think that he tried to roll out and whip it deep any chance he got. I really don't. Either. I really don't. But again, so is that an explanation or an excuse? So
no,
is that an explanation?
I agree with you.
I disagree with him on that.
I went back and watched, and he definitely was getting out of the pocket, but most of them were throwaways. So that to me is a young quarterback who is making sure to not put the ball in harm's way. There's the one I'm watching, and I showed you earlier, Kenny. There's the one in the third. Where he is rolling in the wrong direction, but it looks like that's the play design. It's play action, and he's got to throw across his body to Tillman, and he's not even close. And the two Raider guys smashed into each other trying to pick it off. And that looked like a rookie 5th round throw. Like that didn't. That was a bit hairy, yeah, I'm sure, for Stefanski, but you're going to have those.
There's definitely interceptable balls in there, but I don't want to compare him to Dylan in so many ways, but that's a comparison I can make.
And Dylan put ball in harm's way more than people would acknowledge.
If we're going over Browns quarterbacks in general this year, I mean, there were definitely interceptable balls that Joe Flacco threw as well.
Yes.
Joe Flacco's thrown a pick six, and I think in each of his last 2 games, if I'm not terribly mistaken
he's in
about
mid-season form.
So I marked that one out. The punt from the Vegas 27.
We don't get it.
Guys, you got me on that one.
Plus, you only gained...
I got no explanation for that
29.
whatsoever.
Come on.
Okay, from the 29.
So you gained 19.
I got no explanation.
It was a 19-yard punt. You could have also just run the football to get the first down. Wasn't it 4th and 2?
I don't know. It was,
and I believe they false start or something that got them into the. It was a longer punt originally.
Right. Then, yeah.
It was wild. If it was a closer game, we'd be screaming about it right now. The red zone. This is where, again, I look at it and go, how much practice time did he get? How much practice time? I don't think it's see, this is where I really disagree with Connor Orr. I don't think it's as much a system of, Shedeur's this person who just wants to create and doesn't want to play within an offense. No. I think that this is a direct result of 4 quarterbacks in camp and you can't get a lot of reps. How am I supposed to get reps in you practice red zone, you practice with your first team, with the first team quarterback as it is, fine. You damn sure ain't practicing red zone with the backup. No. And you mentioned it, they kind of did the same thing with Dylan Gabriel too. Because there's not going to be a ton of reps to go around because you only get so much time. It's not 1981 where you get 8 hours to do practice outside if you want to. I mean, there's rules now. And if I'm going to have only so many reps, that means there's only so many red zone reps that I can do in a day. So if he can't take that many red zone snaps, if he's done some drills but's never really done red zone with me, I'm not going to put him in a position to mess this thing up. That's why I totally disagree. I thought it was a great game plan. I don't think that I thought that he tried to play within the system. I go back to Baltimore. If you want to bring up Baltimore and say, hey, he floated out of the pocket, he was trying to make anything happen, he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Yeah, I'll see you at least halfway, if not totally agree with you on that.
But that wasn't this game.
But that wasn't this game.
Now he
by the way, Tone is agreeing with me
and
here.
Now I'm watching again. Yes, he got out of the pocket a bunch of times, but most of these times I thought it made sense to. Not that he was under big time duress, but he's stepping aside. I don't think he's at the level right now as a 5th round pick, whatever you want to call him, but a rookie where you see a lot of rookies have problems standing in the pocket. Just look at Cam Ward. Just look at Caleb Williams when he first came in to the league. And it's not like he has things down to a science, even though his team is winning games, winning close games, and he's been functional. But rookies are not standing in the pocket and just waiting for the rush to get there and delivering. That's not what rookie quarterbacks do. I don't care if you're the 1st overall or you're a 5th round pick.
Orr
so I'll give him a break there.
That's what I'm saying. Connor Orr says hilarious. I say necessary.
Yeah.
Because when you start with 4 quarterbacks and you have a guy that's playing that you did not, and basically Jason's proven right, they did not intend on playing him, so I don't think that there was that much experience within it. You had to change some things out. So if it's way ahead of schedule, you're going to have to take some of these things out of your playbook and just stash them away for another day because it's going to be uncomfortable and he can't do it. And your offense is struggling to score as it is. So I'm really going to put him on the field in a red zone situation, his first game, in a situation he probably hasn't practiced, and force him to what? Possibly create mistakes? That's not doing good by my players.
And our fans understand, right? Like, we're football fans. We understand the red zone is different.
Like, that's why
the red zone is oftentimes, especially in passing situations, way harder because you got no space. You got defensive players that are sitting there with their feet planted in the back of the end zone, making sure that they can see the quarterback's eyes. And this is where gigantic mistakes that swing games.
Yeah, and I mean, your defense is already, you hear the guys on defense, they're starting to groan, they're starting to grumble over the last few weeks because what they're turning in is tremendous performances and they're losing football games. So you're still early enough in a football game. We got to get the points. Quinshon Judkins obviously has more experience in the red zone than any one of these other guys. And I tell you, they had to change it a little bit because we always ran and raved about Nick Chubb not being in on the game in the red zone in certain aspects. So you would definitely do the same thing with Quinshon Judkins. So they had to change that around. This is why and we had a great call at the end of the show yesterday, which was an anti-Stefanski guy and came after us, really came after me over it. But I look at it and I go, no, guys, I know you guys can be anti-Stefanski, and there's going to be plenty of other opportunities, I hate to say it, that will probably be anti-Stefanski. This cannot be anti-Stefanski, cannot be anti-Rees. I thought their game plan was great. I think they put him in a position where he could grow confidence, tried to hide him from situations where he would lack confidence or hurt that confidence and hurt the offense's confidence around him and then hurt whatever the defense
and
thought.
They'll add
so they
to
try
it
to keep him
over
off
time.
the field, and they will try to add to it over time.
Yeah, they're going to put more stuff in, more installs this week. I guarantee
if
they find out what's comfortable for him.
If they find themselves in red zone against San Francisco, I don't think that Quinshon's going to be out there every single time. You could find a situation where he's definitely out there because there might be a different wrinkle to it, but I don't think it's going to be out there every single time. But this is what you do to take care of a quarterback that you did not have a real intention of playing. And that's why we say nice things about Shedeur, because one hand washes the other. He did a fine enough job, and the offensive coaches did a fine enough job to meet in the middle and beat an opponent you should beat. So I give credit for doing the smart thing, not goofing it up.
But you know what's going to happen,
beating an opponent you're supposed to beat.
Because we've already got callers. They're going to say, open it up because they think Shedeur is a different guy at this stage than he probably really is. They're thinking of college Shedeur where you can get away with so much. Just like we went through this before. We watched Johnny Manziel in college run around with his head cut off in college and beat Alabama. Like you could get away with stuff in college.
Why do I need to open it up right now? I'm in no hurry.
You don't need to, but there are.
Why do I need to open it up right now?
There are delusional fans, and every guy coming to the league has them. Shador's got more because he's got a bigger fan base. So there are more delusional fans with him, just like Tim Tebow had delusional fans. That's why I thought that was going to set you off when Connor Orr actually mentioned Tebow mania, because I do think there's been an element on both sides of the coin.
And this is why Albert Breer, he doesn't frustrate me, but I think this is why Albert Breer has been taking our videos and kind of highlighting them. I think Albert Breer and Connor Orr, did I cut you off? I didn't mean to cut you off. Okay. Yeah. I think when they say the Tebow mania thing, I think they're talking to a different group of fans than we are. We're talking to a lot of Browns fans. Mm-hmm. Yes, obviously, when we go to the phones and we talk to Chris in Texas and people in Florida, they're Shador fans and they're dropping in, and we're happy to have them. But we talk mostly to Browns fans, and Browns fans have seen it all. So I think if you find a Browns fan who's been a Browns fan before, I think they're going, I think it was a good game plan. If you're talking to some Shador fans, I'm sure there's some delusional Shador fans who are just mad that they still won the game and that he didn't get put in a bad situation, because it would have been a bad situation had they had just turned this thing loose. And that, I can't reason with those people. So if Albert Breer and Connor Orr are calling it Tebow mania, there was a portion of Tim Tebow's fan base that was absolutely unreasonable, including the head coach who drafted him in the first round. Do we have that clip of the Tebow mania? Hit it.
I think this was like the perfect Tebow mania type of experience.
Yes.
Where he throws a screen pass that gets recorded for 66 yards. And it's like, Shador Sanders threw a 66-yard touchdown pass. Well, but it's like Tebow throwing the ball to Demaryius Thomas at the end of that game. And I think it does have that Tebow mania element of weird stuff happening sometimes.
Listen, Shador plays for my team, and I want him to do well. But I think that there's plenty of people out there that wanted to prove that this is why Tim Tebow was a first-round pick, and I think there's plenty of people out there, for whatever reason, who want to prove this is why Shador Sanders was a fifth-round pick, and maybe vice versa with that. Both have very strong fan bases, but I can only go from the truth. And I thought Shador Sanders took care of himself as best he could, and I thought the coaching staff did a great job of taking care of him, and the entire team did a great job of taking care of each other. And I'm going to give credit where it's due. If that story changes after the San Francisco game, then I will have new information on that. But I thought it was a tremendous game plan. I didn't find it hilarious. I found it necessary. And there's a tremendous difference there. Because it wasn't like, guys, he's not Josh Allen umpteen years into his career or anything else where you turn the guy loose. This is game one, a season that they did not intend to start. If you want to be critical of them not giving him time or giving him any reps beforehand, go right on ahead. But Sunday, no, that's not it. That's not it. They took care of him. Whether you like it or not, that's the truth of the matter. And he took care of himself. Got anything else?
No, I agree. I totally agree with you.
Because this is getting a little ridiculous. Because we're having conversations with, again, when we start, and
Kenny,
this is why I got to turn it off. When we start having conversations with the internet, you're going to go to some weird places. Then you start saying some weird stuff on the air.
It was the perfect game. It was the perfect game to spur the Tebow stuff, because he connected on the 60-yard. It was incredible. It was awesome. And then they only, if you take away the penalty. The penalty extensions, they had 8 first downs. They had 8 first downs. He completed 11 throws. Most of them were around the line of scrimmage. It's perfect for the debate, because you had the good, you had the moderate, you had the terrible interception. It's a perfect game for that debate, and they won. And then, of course, the defense, made the opponent look as bad as you can imagine.
I'm going to tell you another thing, and there are definitely people out there that have been shooting their mouths off behind mics here over the last umpteen months now. And I'm going to tell you guys this. If you guys don't think this is true, then you guys don't see the reality of the situation. There are definitely pundits out there. This is why, I will defend this, because I was here before. You and I were here before, and we'll be here after. I'll say this, and we'll go to break. There are definitely people out there that are... They don't believe in Shador. They don't believe in his fan base, and they wanted him to struggle so they could say, see, not Kevin's fault. Yeah. You've put together quarterbacks that are terrible. It's not Kevin's fault. And there were even people, I think, that wanted him to struggle because they wanted to show that Kevin did not put him in a good situation. See, this is the problem for a fan base where you do have a guy who has a very large fan base where you end up getting manipulated by people just because they want to be able to back up some of the crazy stuff that they said so they got your attention in the first place. John Greco, 8 o'clock. Coming up next. Chirp, 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 chirp. Is that a good chirp?
Oh, your voice is not helping right now.
Can you chirp?
I don't do a chirp. Chirp. Oh, that's good. I can't whistle.
Little birdies are chirping in tones here about who may play and who may not in the Ohio State-Michigan game. It's about last night. Next on The Fan. Peter.
TuneIn app.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
Embarrassing. We got to be better on defense.
It won't matter till April. I think we know that. Y'all gonna write us off. We could go 82-0. No one would care.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. How he couldn't please his wife, and so now he's divorced.
Put a damn winning team on the field.
Now the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
Well, the Cavaliers took a trip to Toronto last night. At least it felt like half the team did, and they lost 110-99 to the Raptors. 6 of the regular players for the Cavs, among them Allen, Garland, Hunter, Merrill, Porter Jr., and Wade sitting out of the contest. That didn't stop Kenny Atkinson, though, by talking about what the Cavs need to improve on.
We can find better shots, I think. The big part of that is our spacing, I think, especially when we're down some guys, our spacing has to be almost perfect. And right now we're still trying to figure it out, because with spacing comes our cutting principles. A lot of things come off that. So get the spacing better, and our shot selection will improve.
We talked about some of the shots last night. Donovan Mitchell only scored 17 points, went 6 of 20. Evan Mobley, 5 of 7 field goals. That's the third time in 7 games he's shot 9 or less field goals in a game.
Yeah, he didn't want to single anybody out. The fact that Lonzo Ball took 12 threes in this game while Evan Mobley took 7 total shots.
What's going on?
That's off kilter.
What's going on here?
I got to tell you, Lonzo Ball has like the ultimate green light. And I know it seems like watching the NBA, everybody has a green light these days. They got to take that off for Lonzo Ball. He had 1 year where he was a good 3-point shooter in his career. The rest has been way below average. I mean, he's at 28%.
So
this year
are you talking about Lonzo Ball because you're saying he's getting opportunities that Evan Mobley should get?
It just makes no sense. Like,
okay.
Evan, his efficiency has gone up the last few weeks, but his shots are going down. And maybe the argument is, well, if he takes more shots, then they're going to be bad shots and he's not going to make them. But either way, last night, you need Evan Mobley to step up and be an all-NBA player, and he just wasn't.
Surfside Cavs Update brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside. They ask you to please drink responsibly, but it tastes so good. But please drink responsibly. 7:48 and 40 seconds for those scoring at home. Well, I don't think people are hearing you, but I think they're like, I don't care about Lonzo Ball. I care about Evan Mobley. Why aren't you getting more shots? Stop being so meek.
It is weird. Like,
I disagree with some of them.
You're watching Scotty Barnes, who had outplayed him last game. You thought, all right, we're going to get an Evan Mobley juiced up mano-a-mano game.
That's what I thought.
And instead, both of them kind of watched as Brandon Ingram looked like he was having a Kevin Durant night. And he was getting to his spots. He picked on every single defender, including Evan Mobley. He picked on everybody, and he feasted. And you're waiting for Evan Mobley. You're waiting for something to click in. Like, dude, you were second-team All-NBA. Start acting like it. And he hasn't.
You okay? Okay, I thought you were joking.
He got the same thing you did.
Yeah.
Got some good news, though, yesterday regarding the Cleveland Browns. One Cleveland Browns legend, Bernie Kosar, who was said to be discharged from the hospital a week after his transplant. It was initially thought to be a whole month after the transplant. This is Kosar talking about what happened yesterday.
In no way did I think I'd be sitting here on Thanksgiving week, Victory Monday for the Browns, but even more so, what a real victory it is for me.
We were talking about this off the air the other day, how amazing his recovery has been the last couple of days.
It looks fantastic. Also, do we know what day it is? Tone? It's Bernie's birthday today.
Yeah, it is his birthday.
62. Looking good. Fit and virile, 62 years old Bernie is. Texting him. He's in good spirits.
Quite literally, a new lease on life. Like, this is amazing because he had 2 very, very scary challenges over the last month where we didn't know if we'd be seeing Bernie again. So this was how, I don't know if you could see the videos, and he was trying to communicate but try not to scare anybody, but very hairy at some points. And so this is an amazing, amazing story. And the work over there, I mean, we have more than that, world-class facilities here in Northeast Ohio. But he got great care, and he's had everybody in the region either praying for him or sending their positive thoughts his way.
Absolutely. Now, finally here, we have something from 97.1 yesterday in Columbus. This is the Buckeye Roundtable podcast. Ryan Day made an appearance and was asked this question about his top wide receivers.
Coach, you guys ever heard Carnell and Jeremiah? Are they trending in the right direction?
They are.
They are. They're going to continue to get some rest tonight. Had a good day of rehab, and so we'll wake up in the morning and see how they're doing. But nobody wants to play more than those two guys.
So it seems like it's a good sign. You had some other potential information.
I'm telling you, man. The first of all, if you watch Jeremiah Smith, there's all sorts of footage of him on the sidelines and walking around Saturday. This is either alarming or it's one of the biggest possum. Brett the Hitman Hart, remember he used to play possum sometimes in his wrestling matches.
Kevin Nash in the wheelchair.
That's right. Then he is getting one over on Michigan and everybody in college football, because if you watch him walking around, he looks like he is in discomfort, and he does not look like a world-class athlete.
Jeez.
And that's just walking. So either this is one of the greatest sell jobs in the history of this rivalry, or we should be very, very alarmed, because it's not just this game. It's not just about this game. In fact, I mean, you can make the argument that this game pales in comparison to what's coming up. I mean, they got the Big Ten championship too, which some people have said won't matter either. But you'll have the Heisman potentially on the line in that game. You'd think Ohio State's going to get a bye regardless. So it's very interesting to see how they are acting. But they're very quiet. There's no doubt everybody is being very quiet in Columbus right now about this.
Great. I'm actually upset.
Yeah, it's Ohio State, Michigan. You'd like to see Ohio State, which has been using the last 2 months as just a tune-up. They're basically scrimmaging their opponents every week. The whole point is to have your guys ready to go for this game.
See the weather forecast on Saturday?
Yeah, you told me this.
31 and snowing.
Why would you even put them out there, Anthony? Either one of them. Why would you even try to get them out there?
Well, they could lose to Michigan.
Oh, God. No, they can't.
They were way bigger favorites last year.
No, they can't.
If they don't have those guys?
It's going to be a big Bo Jackson day on Saturday.
Where's Julian saying from again?
He's from California, and that's what a lot of people are going to say to you. Thanks for setting me up. However, C.J. Stroud's from California. Justin Fields was from Georgia?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if it's really going to compute that much. I mean, you play. Where's J.J. McCarthy from? Is he from Michigan?
Is he?
Where's he from?
I actually don't know.
Where the hell is that guy from?
He's going to be going back wherever he's from pretty soon, the way he's playing.
He's from the IR. A lot of people brought that up and goes, every time he plays bad, is he going to end up on the disabled list or something like that? Every single time.
He's from Illinois, but he went to high school in Florida. That's it for last night.
Ah, okay. Well, he plays in a dome, so you can't lose. Don't say they can lose to Michigan and still anything. No losing to Michigan.
I'm just telling you, everybody.
Not this time.
Everybody just keeps saying, "Oh, he'll play. He'll play. He'll play." But nobody is putting anything out concrete.
He accuses me of being a hater, and I told him yesterday on the phone, I was genuinely disappointed when they lost last year.
Oh, yes.
Like really?
Yeah, he was really bent out of shape about it.
What are you trying to say?
I think you enjoyed the meltdown.
No, I did not.
I think you thoroughly enjoyed the meltdown.
I think you did.
No, people on YouTube can see my face.
State.
I'm sorry. Are you a Yankee fan? Oh, we don't know. Guys, please don't talk about that anymore. Don't you own Yankee apparel? What Michigan things do I own? Yeah, walk out. Yeah, get out of here. You walk out.
So,
see? Afraid of the confrontation.
Yes.
Don't yell at me.
If Ohio State loses this game, they are not going to the Big Ten championship. Indiana would be, they are 8-0. They have Purdue. They're going to be 9-0. Oregon going into this week is 7-1. Michigan is 7-1 and would have the win over Ohio State.
Buckeye Roundtable. It's the radio show, not the podcast. Coming up at 8:45, the Neutral Zone with Rat Boy and the Hog. Up next, John Greco, former Toledo Rocket, former Cleveland Brown. What's Shedeur Sanders got to do to keep the job now, long-term? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app, KC Roofing, kcroof.net.
And Westwood 1 in Cleveland. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Shedeur will start this week. Obviously, number one job of quarterback is to win. So excited to get that first win under his belt. And then next thing is improvement. And that's what young players do. Certainly young quarterbacks do. You get one game better, and that's just from working at it. So that'll be our focus.
It's time to bring on John Greco. He joins us right now on the Fan Hotline. Hello, John.
Hey, guys. Good morning.
I sound like hell today, so Lima's going to take it away from here. I don't know why. Voice is gone.
Too much Super Bowl, Super Browns.
It was too much Super Bowl, Super Browns.
And you know what Ken's going to do? He's going to blame Shedeur and then start a controversy. Oh, Shedeur hit a big pass play and I lost my voice. And Ken's going to play the victim.
Yep. That's how it works, John. What do you think of that, buddy boy?
Sad.
I'm okay with it. A victory Monday, losing your voice. You know, hey, we're excited about getting that win, man. Shedeur looked good. Everybody's happy.
You said he looked good. You thought he looked good?
That's just something you say.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I'm kidding. I did. He did enough for them to win. Obviously, I told you guys on your show that last week that we were going to get 7 sacks. I was wrong. I underestimated it, and they got 10. So, Shedeur threw the ball down the field. Isaiah Bond is fast. He's proven that, and we just haven't been able to get him the ball. All the things that we talk about to how we can help the running game, how we can help a young receiver, soften the defense, loosen up the defense, have them respect the down the field throws. Shedeur did that. And look, guys around him made plays. I like the Wildcat wrinkle in the red zone. He throws a swing pass and, the running backs run 60-plus yards and scores a touchdown. Those are big plays. They had to execute. Guys had to block. So, yeah, Shedeur did enough to have them win the game, and I'm happy for him. It was awesome seeing his dad in the stands. Obviously, I heard the comments of his teammates, while I was waiting to come on the show with you guys. He's, an electric personality and provided them a spark. You could tell everyone is kind of circling the wagons and rallying with him. And let's see what they could do. San Francisco is very beatable. We saw last night how many turnovers that Brock Purdy had in the first half. Probably should have been more.
Should have been.
So they're leaking oil a little bit. I know they got a win last night at home. And, hey, look, you get them on a short week. Try to stop CMC and have our pass rushers wreak havoc on Brock Purdy, see if he could throw some more and give us another opportunity. And let's see what we could do. But I'm excited about Shedeur. He did everything he needed to do in that role as having the week of preparation and executed the game plan that they rolled out for him, and they got a win.
John Greco with us. So there's been a lot of talk about the game plan in general, and I've seen some people annoyed that they pulled Shedeur off the field, but here you are talking about how it was a brilliant masterclass on red zone offense and doing something that you're going to limit any of the potential risk and go with something that worked in that Miami game, which was Judkins down there. I don't think it was anything against Shedeur. I think it was, hey, we're putting points on the board and we're going to help. We're going to play some good football, both defensively and offensively.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not looking at it as let's take the ball out of the quarterback's hands because we don't trust him. I saw that kind of narrative. I don't think it's that. I think it's more of what the three of us talked about last Tuesday, and let's get the ball into our playmakers' hands in Quinshon Judkins, and not just have him line up and run the ball in a traditional setting, because we have talked about why there's those issues with him getting hit behind the line of scrimmage, and a lot of these runs not going anywhere. So, hey, keep the Raiders on their toes, throw a wildcat at you in the red zone, and now you have, now the 49ers have to practice that. They have to allocate time on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to practice a wildcat look. So I liked it. It was a little wrinkle. If it didn't work, they'd probably, shelf it for a few weeks and revisit it. But it did, and now teams have to practice it. and I think it'll show up, in between the red zones now, just as a little wrinkle. And I'm okay with that. Anything that they need to do to try to manufacture points and convert first downs, they're going to do it. And, look, I mean, you saw the Giants throw the ball to Jameis Winston, and we saw that big play. Who knows? Maybe they're going to try to get Shedeur the ball in some trick play aspects. I don't know. But I didn't look at it as they don't trust the guy down in the red zone. I think it was just trying to get the ball into their playmakers' hands.
What does Shedeur have to do now to keep the job?
Well, continue to win, and I don't think it's going to be a situation where, at least I hope it isn't like this. If they come out and it's a bumpy game and he doesn't look great, or there's a turnover, I don't want it to be like a quarterback controversy. Because still, we've only seen one game, and I was in the camp where when Dylan Gabriel was starting, I said, look, let's give him a few weeks. I'm going to say that with Shedeur Sanders right now, right, wrong, or indifferent. They got to win last week. He came into the game against Baltimore and it looked ugly, and we talked endlessly about reasons why. Well, he had a full week of preparation, and they won the game. Now he's got a second full week of preparation. It's only going to help his chemistry with receivers, calling the plays. Tommy Reese and Kevin Stefanski are going to feel comfortable about what are his strengths now. What can they do well as a unit with him leading the offense? What do they not do as well? Let's scrap that, and let's try to get the run game going. But that's kind of my feel on it. And look, for him to keep the job, I think if guys around him continue to elevate and make plays, that's gonna help him keep his job. The defense is going to be the defense. We kind of just set our clocks to them having multiple sacks. We're going to be talking about Myles Garrett. We're going to be talking about the two rookies. We're going to be talking about the veteran D tackles are showing up every game and having success. And the defense, I'm not going to have to worry about them. But is the offense going to be able to do enough and score 3 touchdowns? Because they're going to win a lot of these games coming down the stretch if they could do that. And then who knows what's going to happen if they rattle off some wins here in the last part of the season. What are we going to say then? They're going to put a Shedeur Sanders statue outside of Brown Stadium. And I'm excited about it. This is what this fan base needs. This is what we've been longing for so long. Just a guy that is charismatic, that everybody can buy his jersey and rally behind, that he wins games. And the players, at least last week in Las Vegas, looked like they had, a burst of energy and a belief. So let's see what that looks like this week against San Francisco.
John Greco with us right now talking Browns football. So we played a clip earlier from Connor Orr, Monday morning quarterback, and he brought up Tebow mania when it comes to Shedeur and his fan base. Where were you back in 2011, John Greco, for Tebow mania, and does this compare?
Well, I was a young man playing for the Cleveland Browns and trying to figure things out. But, there are some comparisons. I don't know that I guess Tebow was a polarizing figure because, he was so successful in college, won the national title, and people kind of questioned if that version was going to translate to the pros and he was going to have this similar success. And, look, Tim Tebow won a playoff game. I think he beat the Steelers, if I'm not mistaken, when they were in Denver. And it was a fun ride. I was aware of it and paying attention, and, was happy to see them beat the Steelers, obviously. But if I'm drawing comparisons to that now, I guess you could, because, there are a lot of people that really want to see Shedeur Sanders do well. And I think it's more people than not. And I don't know if a portion of the fan base that really likes him sees it that way. But there are still, I'm not naive, there are still people that, for whatever reason, want to see that young man fail. I don't know why. And maybe it's the way he carries himself to the media and some of the things he says, or it's because of his family. I don't know. I'm speculating. But I think he's genuine, and I kind of like it. It's different. It's fresh. It's something that, like the Browns, and every time you hear the messaging from Kevin Stefanski, it's very monotone. It's never too high. It's never too low. And that's just what we're used to hearing and seeing. Well, then you have this, charismatic figure come out in the media to the teammates on the practice field, and he's having fun, and he's trying to, show his personality. And I think some people don't like that for whatever reason, and that's fine. If he continues to win games, who cares who doesn't like that? The Browns are going to be winners, and that's what they'll want. So, drawing back to the Tim Tebow comparison, I guess there are some similarities because he's such a polarizing figure. But, for this moment, I'm happy he's our quarterback, and I want to see him do really well.
John Greco joining us on the show. Are you done with Jerry Judy?
Am I done with Jerry Judy? No, because, I think he's still our best option at the receiver position. I get that he's been frustrated all year. And, look, I know you're alluding to the fumble. He kind of, I don't want to say took the play off, but he had a mental lapse and just kind of, forgot that, hey, those guys chasing me from behind. But no, not yet. Look, are we maybe done seeing the Jerry Judy of old? Maybe. I don't know. But for now, I think he's still our best option on the perimeter. And I think they still have to try to find ways to get him the ball and get him in the end zone, because that's the best way to cure up a rocky relationship is guys scoring points. And you can't turn on ESPN without them talking about the Eagles and some of the dysfunction on offense, and they still continue to be one of the best teams in the NFL in the NFC. And I'm not trying to compare them right now to the Jerry Judy situation, but that's the thing that happens with these receivers and these playmakers that are used to getting the ball and making big plays throughout their career. And when it doesn't happen, of course they're going to be upset. And he's been a professional throughout most of this and a lot of it, and said the right things. But frustrations boil over at some point, and he hasn't gotten in the end zone a lot. He's not making as many catches and big plays as we're used to seeing and what he wants to be as a player throughout his career. So the cure for that is to keep trying to get him the ball and get him in the end zone, because that'll make him happy. And I think we need him still to win games throughout the season.
John, did you ever get a game ball as a football player?
I did get a bunch of game balls. I don't know if I ever got an individual, like, hey, John Greco, here's your game ball. I think the offensive line, they were just like, hey, the offensive line played well. We had a lot of success. We didn't let up any sacks. We scored a lot of points. The running backs had great games. And then by default, they just gave all the offensive line game balls. I have quite a few. I have them showcased in my office.
Did it ever start a war with your fan base compared to maybe the quarterback's fan base at the time?
No. There were some that I played like a crap game, and like Joe Thomas was like perfect, and they were like, well, we can't give 4 offensive linemen game balls and not the one guy we won the game. So those I still have tucked in the closet, but no, I don't think anybody was ever upset that I got a game ball. And let's say like the Gary Barnidge that scored 2 touchdowns didn't get one. The whole game ball thing, I've been listening to it, obviously, is kind of funny to me. I don't know why people are so offended and upset about it.
Well,
we've had to go back and
I had to say that they had the right to do it.
We had to do an autopsy on prior game balls.
Yeah, but I said I had to defend their right to do it, even though it's like, oh, come on. Like, Miles is great, but it's like, well, you gave Deshaun Watson a game ball, and he threw for 206 yards and no touchdowns and no picks, and it was like, whatever, but you gave him a game ball. So it's like, well, I guess Shador gets a game ball, and then he didn't get a game ball.
So then I thought that the theory was debunked because Dylan Gabriel did not get a game ball after his first win.
Nah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so we don't facts don't matter. Yeah, I'm with you. I thought that would have been a nice gesture and been like, hey, Shador, first rookie start, you helped us win. Congratulations. I think everybody would have just gone absolutely crazy. And that was like really, low risk, high reward doing that. I mean, these game balls, I've seen dozens of them given out in games. They're just picking ones out of the box and giving them to guys. So they for sure could have given him one and made everybody happy. I don't know why they didn't. Maybe it's just a rookie thing where Coach Stefanski's like, hey, I hate all rookies and they're not getting game balls. That's just my opinion. I don't know. It's just speculation. But yeah, that young man's going to get plenty of game balls in his career. So I'm just waiting for the next one.
John, thank you for the good times. All the best.
Guys, happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, same to you.
With you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
same to you. I forgot there was a holiday coming up on Thursday. I apologize.
That's right. I hope your voice comes back.
Yeah, I hope it does too. I like getting loud. This sucks. I didn't expect this to happen today.
And happy birthday, Bernie Kosar, Boardman, Youngstown legend, and glad to hear he's out of the hospital.
People need to know this, that both Bernie's jersey and John's jersey are at the Canes in Boardman. I want to point that out to everybody. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I knew they were at the MVR in downtown Youngstown, the great MVR.
That's right.
With another Youngstown and Browns legend, Ishmaeli Kitchen.
Yes, Ishmaeli Kitchen.
Congratulations on all your success.
It's true. And that's where I had my dinner for our engagement ceremony. What was that? No, what's that called? The rehearsal dinner. That's what it was. We had it at the MVR. And I looked over, I go, I hope I know John Greco someday. I hope I talk to him every Tuesday. And here we are. My dreams have come true. I didn't even want kids then. I just wanted to talk to you, John.
That's young people out there listening to this. Dreams do come true, and just work hard, and you'll get your jersey hung at MVR, or you'll get to have your rehearsal dinner where there's Youngstown legends hung in a restaurant.
Indeed.
Probably serving Youngstown since 1927.
Oh, they're fantastic. John, thank you for the time.
You guys, thank you. Bye.
Thank you. The trestle tortellini, is it still on there?
Oh, I'll have to look.
It's so good.
I do know that in 1978 they added their first bocce ball court.
Oh, they got them all. Have you ever been there?
No.
You'll go there Saturday. You got to see it Saturday.
Should I go Saturday?
Oh, my God. Tone, it's so good. Unpaid testimonial. Totally unpaid testimonial. Guys, if you're in Youngstown, you go to the Penguins game. Wait, they call them the Gwins, not the Pens.
Gwins,
there. Go to the Gwins game. You go to the MVR. The trestle tortellini, you're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. All right. What was I going to do except for talking about trestle tortellini? Oh, yeah, that's right. 8:45 Neutral Zone in the Hog, or Neutral Zone with Rat Boy in the Hog. Up next, we can't be done with Jerry Judy, guys. He's our only choice. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on the Fan. 92. joining us on the show. Are you done with Jerry Judy?
I mean, no, because I think he's still our best option at receiver position. I get that he's been frustrated all year, and are we maybe done seeing the Jerry Judy of old? Maybe, I don't know, but for now, I think he's still our best option on the perimeter. I think they still have to try to find ways to get him the ball and get him in the end zone. That's the best way to cure up, a rocky relationship, guys scoring points.
That's John Greco. He's not giving up on Jerry Judy. A lot of people upset with Jerry Judy. Have you given up on Jerry Judy? 216-474-0092. Tone, go.
So I don't know how they can give up on him. Because
I think there's a difference, though, in them giving up on him and fans giving up on Jerry Judy.
I do think it would, and I don't know why. Why didn't you say that on the air? But we were talking off the air. Again, another easy opportunity to bench somebody. That's a loafing situation.
I don't think he was loafing.
It's definitely a lack of awareness, and you got to have awareness as a wide receiver.
Okay, but I don't know what good it does to bench your number one wide receiver over lack of awareness. It was silly.
So you just don't agree with benching guys ever, then?
Well, it depends on the situation. Give me the situation. You can't say ever. I mean, there's a million different reasons to bench or not bench a guy. That's a pretty loose definition, don't you think? That's kind of the extreme. That's like when I'm arguing with my wife and she goes, well, I guess I'm just the worst person in the world now, aren't I?
But benching somebody doesn't mean you're terminating their contract. It just means, hey, come over to the sidelines. You did something stupid. Let's talk about it. Let's get better. Let's also send a message to everybody else. I don't know. Our coaches.
I kind of felt like he got benched, though, with his 3 targets in the game.
I mean, there's also the thing of hey, you could bench a guy, but you're also inviting a lot of conversation to your football team the next week. You may not care.
Well, I mean, isn't that
but
conversation?
I think you're inviting a lot to your football team.
You don't think that's been there all year with Judy anyway?
Speaking of conversation, the master conversationalist, our good buddy Jeff Shadell, because you can always leave it to him to ask the questions that the fans actually want to ask. Jeff asked Kevin about Jerry Judy. Hit it.
Hey, Kevin, I'm going to ask you about Jerry Judy. Were you pleased with his effort yesterday? It looked to me like he really slowed down before he fumbled that ball.
I think he was setting the player in front of him up to make a move there, Jeff. He will be better. That's really a play that we expect him to make. That's a huge play for our football team. We're about to get 7 points, if not 3, on that drive, and that's a big play for us. And Jerry knows this, and we remind him and remind our players. It's always the guy that you can't see that they're coming. So I don't think it was a loaf. It was a lack of ball security technique.
And then just to follow that, though, when we talked to him on Wednesday, he was very short with his answers. I know that's not a big part for you, but his interview lasted less than 2 minutes, and his words 3 or 4 word answers. So is anything bothering him?
No, I think Jerry's got the right attitude. He wants to win. Obviously, when you're not winning, that certainly can affect your mood, if you can imagine, but he's focused on winning.
I learned it from watching you.
I'm going to get back. I want to get back to the nature, though. First off, does that get added to the master clip?
Yeah.
Owen.
Come on. That's got to be in there.
Does that get added to the master?
The Shadell catalog.
We'll take it into consideration.
We've got a nice best of come holiday season here. We gotta get this out there. This is pretty good.
I saw him at the Menor game.
It's got all of this.
Jeff, you good?
Really, just one little thing. It's really that close, because from the outside, it does not look that way.
Yeah, from the outside looking in, it could be like that. It could be hard to see.
All right, Jeff, we'll come back to you.
Giving our best and try to go win the series.
I mean, you tried that last year. I mean, you personally, what did you learn as a head coach?
I don't know. Thank you.
All right, Jeff, we'll try again.
What can you guys...
You watch film? You watch the film?
I watched the game.
Did you watch the film or you watched the game?
I did not watch the film. So, did they not have you guys covered tight?
Watch the film and come back, actually.
All right, Jeff.
Did you believe him when he told you it wasn't on you?
Did I believe him? Yeah. I mean, I feel like you're trying to start stuff now.
We'll try again.
Yeah, sorry about that. My cat walked across my keyboard. Are you on vacation? Where are you going on vacation?
Yeah, location undisclosed, Jeff, so you don't bother me.
Hey, the reason we play it is because Jeff asked the question that a Brian in Broadview Heights wants to know. That's why we love Jeff. That probably is going to make the master clip. So this is what I think, but Jeff is hitting on it, and this is why he asked the questions that people want to know. We made a big deal of Jerry Judy being terse at best with the media last Wednesday. And there were some people going, well, what if he's going through something? I said, I asked that question. If he's going through something, then don't put him out there on the podium. You can always say he'll talk tomorrow or talk Friday. He's not ready to talk today.
Very easily,
whatever.
They could easily dispel behind the scenes. Like they could go to media and say, "Hey, just so you know."
They absolutely could. Yes,
it'd be an easy thing to do.
But they didn't. So I'm going to go on what I know. And what I know is a guy who had a 1 minute and 30-second press conference, and I thought added a little bit of dissension to a big week that was coming up for Shedeur Sanders playing.
Well, it sucks because we didn't get to see what Shedeur would have done on that drive.
But now you have the true thought of what a lot of fans thought, because there were some people trying, you guys are making a mountain out of a molehill. Well, are we, considering everybody was upset after you guys called him being a lazy person out there on the field? Because I didn't think it was lazy. I think that this is a guy who was trying to set, as Kevin said, set someone up for a move. And I don't think it was the smartest play I've ever seen. He wasn't paying attention to who was behind him.
He forgot that there are 9 other guys on the field, and the goal is to get the football.
Well, you get excited sometimes. I mean, if I got the football...
And it just was a very casual...
he gets the ball as much as an offensive lineman does anymore. If an offensive lineman took off with it, I think he'd get excited too and probably forget who's around him.
Yeah, maybe loafing's probably not the best term. He clearly is trying to set up a move. Like, I agree with Stefanski, but that's something you can do in high school. And at what stage does Jerry Judy think he is at the level in the NFL to be able to toy with defenders the likes of that? Like,
he does.
Him coming to a stop almost in the middle of the field with everybody behind him chasing him.
Who's the number one quarterback?
It just doesn't seem very smart.
Who's the number one wide receiver on the team?
Yeah, Jerry Judy.
Who's the highest paid wide receiver?
I might have to say Harold Fannin at this point.
Who's the highest paid wide receiver on the team?
He is.
So why wouldn't he think that he can shake a guy? Why wouldn't he think that he can do that?
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of instances of him doing that this year.
The NFL has told him he's the type of guy who can shake a guy. Oof. And I haven't seen it this year. But
his coaches need to do some coaching and tell him who he's not.
Guys run out of confidence after we run out of confidence. So he definitely thinks he can still shake a guy. It's been a bad year. I'm not defending his year. I can a little bit because the quarterback play hasn't been good.
Yeah. But it's not all on him, but he does lead the NFL in drops for the second consecutive year.
How old is he? Is he battling old age? Is
26.
Yeah, so he's young, so he's probably sitting there going, this is ridiculous. I got a cavalcade of goofballs thrown to me right now. I'm a much better wide receiver than you people are making me out to be. And then he gets the ball, I'm going to show you, and he did something silly. I can't just bench everybody. Am I only hurting my team? Who am I going to replace him with? Is it said Tillman becomes number one? Okay.
I don't know, but he's 67th in the NFL in receiving yards this year. So
I didn't say he's having a good season, now did I?
If he's at the level that he thinks he's going to go video game in the open field in a game. By the way, totally letting down Shedeur.
He did.
If anything, Shedeur fans should be all over Jerry Judy today. How do they feel about that?
I'm sure they are. Where is Cedric Tillman on that all-time list? Does the list go down that far?
I don't think so.
Okay. Is Jamari Thrash on that list? No offense to him.
I don't think they've had that many names.
This is what I'm trying to point out here.
Njoku's 100th.
Okay, this is what I'm trying to point out here. Better watch what you say. You're going to see him later today, but we're not going to talk about that right now. You're only hurting yourself. He knows he messed up. Yeah. Everybody knows he messed up. Oh, what, I'm going to bench him now for the rest of the game?
Well, so you just
hurt myself?
You just don't think negative reinforcement works in the NFL during a game?
Not to cut off my own nose, no. No, I'm trying to win a football game. We'll talk about this later.
So the highest paid players can never get benched?
No, that's not true. If he would have got the ball and walked off the field, then I might have been real pissed off and said, you can stay off the side of the field. He was trying to make a move. It was an honest mistake, was it not? I know everybody's mad at him.
Yeah, but it's a stupid
and they don't
play.
Like him right
now.
It
is a stupid play.
It's not smart.
We can agree that,
but it wasn't that he was giving slack-ass effort on the play. That's what I think the difference is.
But he was accused of that on other routes in that game.
He was.
So let me ask you this. Do you think the Browns this week, because I know these players know they screw up, but at times, especially on losing teams that aren't going to the playoffs, and jobs are on the line, that's how this league works. It's a professional entity. People are getting paid a lot of money to make the playoffs every year, and he's one of the highest paid.
Okay.
So do you think they got on him big time this week?
I think he got on himself big time this week.
Do the coaches never do that here? Do we have a coaching staff that just kind of, I know you'll own up to it. My bad. Okay, let's move on. Because how's that working for the Cleveland Browns the last few years? Answer me that.
They're not very good.
How is this? Hey, our players know they screwed up.
Well,
I would hope that it gets fiery behind the scenes, like it should in a football
Well, there
team.
was that one situation, and you know what? I'm not going to say that situation because it wasn't even when Kevin was head coach, so I'm not even going to say it. Even though there's a certain wide receiver that are, you know what? No, I'm not going to say it. It's holiday season. I ain't going to do it yet. No. Coming up next, the neutral zone with Rat Boy and the Hog, where do we warn Buccaneers fans? Do we warn them? It's coming up next on Neutral Zone with Rat Boy and the Hog and the Fan.
Anthony Lima, Van Scoy.
Make your reaction a part of our shows. Powered by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Turkey or ham? Who the hell cares? Stuff your face and take in football Thanksgiving Day on the Fan, the radio home of the NFL in Cleveland. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. It's time for the Neutral Zone with Rat Boy and the Hog. Crank it up and rip off the knob.
Week 13 of the NFL season is in the books, and it ended with a fight at the end of last night's 49ers victory over the Panthers. An exchange between Juwan Jennings for San Francisco and Trevon Moehrig for Carolina. This is Jennings after the game explaining the situation, as well as head coach Kyle Shanahan in on it as well.
And TV gonna tell you what happened, man. I was just responding to me some childish behavior.
Yeah, the guy took a cheap shot and hit him in the and I was real proud of Juwan for not losing his mind out there and getting him to the sideline.
Yeah, the incident he's referring to is a punch to the groin that Jennings suffered during the game.
Is that just me, or should they lax the taunting rules because they made the taunting rules more stringent? And I don't know, we went years without guys spitting at each other. We went years without guys taking low blows. And here we are with low blows and guys spitting on each other.
Ooh, I like this. This is a good theory. So
because you can't have your outlet, like a guy can't. George Pickens, I can't stand there and point first down with the football. Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to make it worth my while. Now I'm going to sock somebody.
Yeah.
Just pointing it out, everybody. They're grown men.
If somebody
American
does
taxpayers.
By the way, if somebody does this to you and it is so obvious and it's on camera, can the NFL forgive you for going after them, or do you have to be a professional and do you have to take emotion out of it?
No, they're going to go after you for going after them. That's how it always works.
It then seems like you could just instigate. Like, I should just...
Well, did Jalen Ramsey get fined after he got thrown out of the game?
I have to check on that.
Somebody
definitely got fined.
Run your segment.
He definitely got fined.
I'll look it up. Because, Mike Tomlin, I think a lot of people look at it in the court of common sense and go, well, yeah, he spit on him.
He was fined $14,491 for that incident with Jamar Chase.
I would appeal that fine. I'd call Tom Merriman and Merriman
Why
legal.
is it so specific is the question.
Oh, that's how they set it up. That's with the league.
Got it.
That's with the Players Union.
We were talking about the Monday night game. The Sunday night game saw the Rams kill the Buccaneers and knock Baker Mayfield out of the game with a shoulder injury that had him in a sling. We weren't sure what his future was going to be. This is Ian Rappaport yesterday on NFL Network.
The MRI revealed a low-grade AC joint sprain in Baker Mayfield's left shoulder, not his throwing shoulder. And Baker Mayfield has played through a ton of injuries, both in the past where he played through a somewhat similar injury or actually worse, and this season where he's played through a couple different things. The MRI gave him good news, so much so that my understanding is he does actually have a real chance to be able to play this Sunday for the Bucs.
Well, based on what he just said, our past experience, is this worth Baker Mayfield risking for this Sunday against the Cardinals?
Oh, boy. Get ready. Buckle up. Tampa Bay, Sports Talk Radio. Get ready, because one thing we know about Baker, that guy is going to try to play no matter what. And the good part of that is you've got a gamer on your team. You got a guy a locker room can rally around, because if he's playing through stuff, it's going to make everybody else put on notice, like, yeah, should we be taking it easy when we should be out there? But the flip side of that is he's not Josh Allen. He's not one of the bigger quarterbacks. He struggles when he tries to play injured.
Well, Josh Allen's 6'5", and Josh Allen's got a huge frame. Even he needs help getting out of bed in the morning. And there's been times where Baker has played with just true reckless abandon where I've winced watching him. He's not that physical of a being. He is a tough young man, but he's not like Josh Allen or some of the other guys in the league. That said, I don't want to drive too far on this, but I think this is going to be interesting to see. He's got $30 million, I think, guaranteed next year.
But this is all about that next contract.
Okay, but
people started thinking, could he get 50?
But he still has another year of $30 million, I think, guaranteed. So for a guy like him, it's like, all right, let's see what he does with some security now. But I think it's changed where you got to learn from the previous mistake and go, am I playing with my teammates throughout the entire year, or am I just taking the surgery at the end? Because it's the Joe Burrow situation. If Joe Burrow goes out there Thursday night, your intention is to finish the season no matter what. It ain't some long Hail Mary to save the season in one game against Baltimore. You're there to finish the year. Baker, as a franchise quarterback now, you're there to finish the year. None of this, well, we'll see as long as we're in the playoff hunt, then they'll shut me down stuff. That totally upset the locker room there. So we'll see if we've learned from previous mistakes. My thought is that he did. But when it comes to his actual play, Baker's still 6 feet tall. He still needs his entire body to throw down the field. I still worry about him with an injured wing the way I wouldn't with a bigger quarterback.
Watch him crumple to the field after he tried to throw that Hail Mary.
That looked painful just watching it, let alone having to experience that if you're Baker. Speaking of quarterbacks that we're not sure if they should play this week, Joe Burrow is apparently, you kind of said it there, is going to be playing this Thanksgiving game. He's expected to against the Ravens. This was Zach Taylor yesterday on Burrow.
I anticipate him playing, but we'll continue to work through the week. I'm not going to declare that definitively. Work through the week, coming off an injury. He's done everything he could. He put himself in a position to do his best to play yesterday. He looks like he's in good shape right now. He'd be ready to go.
I mean, the Ravens have been on fire. Their defenses looked solid. They're coming up the AFC North. The Bengals are nowhere near the top of the AFC North. Is it worth it for the Bengals if you're Burrow?
I think that there would probably be some people in ownership who probably don't want him to do that. But again, he's the leader of the team. He's got to think big picture here. I think that's a locker room that's reaching a boiling point right now. I mean, again, Chase Brown is very comfortable in ripping that defense. They need Joe Burrow in there.
Thursday night game
to hold this down. They need Joe Burrow in there.
Standalone game.
He's got to think big picture here as the franchise quarterback. He is really the cornerstone of the entire franchise. So he's got to be able to bring people along that are going to play with him and play for him in so many ways in 2026 as well. This is big picture for Joe Burrow. Yes, something bad can happen, and they've happened to Joe Burrow, and it could carry into next year. But he also needs to get these guys emotionally right because this team should not be on its ass the way it's on its ass. They've been the victim of bad drafting on defense. They've been the victim of bad moves on defense. I think Lima would agree.
They got to blow it up. Trade Joe Burrow. Trade him to the Browns. Let's start over.
If they lose,
even going to take the statement seriously, or
if they lose Thursday, they will be behind the 3-8 Browns in the AFC North. Which who'd have thought that would have been the case?
I just want a little professionalism.
A month ago,
you're not going anywhere with them.
A month ago, we were complaining about Joe Flacco and how they embarrassed us on Thursday night.
We going anywhere with Joe Burrow?
Do you know he's going to be 29?
We going anywhere? Are we going anywhere with Joe Burrow?
With that defense? Yeah, they'll win the Super Bowl.
Oh wait, you want to bench his number one wide receiver?
Oh,
I want Jerry Judy out of here. You think Jerry Judy would be better with Joe Burrow throwing to him? I think so.
I would hope Judy.
I think you'd be okay with Joe Burrow throwing to him.
Judy be our third receiver.
I'm going to leave it right there. That's the neutral zone
behind Malachi Corley. You want to bring back Kadarius Toney? Have him be ahead of him?
You know how Harold Fannin would feast with Joe Burrow throwing him the football?
He would do very well with Joe Burrow throwing him the football.
Be talking about him like he's Travis Kelce.
Wow, you just always find a way to be anti-Shador over there. Shador has a decent game, and now all of a sudden he's just, I want Joe Burrow to come here. Let's bring in Joe Burrow. I mean, you're just chasing these dragons.
Shador would be
you can't chase down.
Shador would be a nice backup to Joe Burrow.
Well, he just finds any way he can to just rip on Shador Sanders. It's a shame.
By saying he's worse than Joe Burrow,
it's a
that's
shame.
Ripping him?
It's a shame.
I think he'd be happy that he's in the same conversation.
Yeah, but at least I'm having realistic conversations because Shador Sanders will play quarterback for the Cleveland Browns in the future. Joe Burrow will never play quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. And there you just want to replace him.
Grew up a Cleveland Cavs fan.
To do anything he can to make the replacement. So do people in Pittsburgh.
All right. You want him to go to the Steelers?
It's amazing.
I'd rather him come to the Browns than the Steelers.
It's amazing how you've allowed yourself to be worked into a shoot.
Wonderful poll question.
Over Shador Sanders fans. It's amazing how personal you've made it.
Joe Burrow play football at Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers.
When I see Shador Sanders in the facility on a day off like I did yesterday, I look at him and I go, that's a guy who's got leadership qualities. That's a guy I don't want to give up on. Lyman, he didn't even play bad, and Lyman wants to give up on him. Yeah, but Lyman doesn't.
He had the lowest QBR.
Lyman doesn't make it
NFL
personal with anybody. Lyman doesn't make it personal with any of the Shador fans at all.
He had the highest ADOT, the lowest QBR.
But let's go hear what Charles Robinson had to say. He was making fun of all the other people for going after Shador Sanders because I think Charles is right, and I don't think Charles said it, but I think Charles is right. I'll say it. All these guys are letting their personal feelings with the people who are Shador fans mixed into it. That's why you come here, because we were here before and we'll be here after, and I look at the Browns and I say, what's best for the Browns? Shador to play well. So yes, you want Shador to play well. That's how it needs to work. And anybody who says different is lying to themselves. You want to go back over the Jerry Judy stuff? People want to get in on that.
Sure. Yeah.
They think I'm wrong. They think Jerry Judy's ass needs to be benched. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app. And watch us for free on YouTube Live. Where, yes, my voice is just wrecked right now. I don't know why. Classic Auto Group, Classic Chevy in Menor. That's where I went. I went to Classic Chevy in Menor. But the greatest thing is that you go around the corner and there's like a bunch of
University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Sundays do not exist without us.
Fedor on third down, throws it. Sampson to the flat. Sampson 35. Sampson 40. Sampson, first down. He's at the Raider 35. It's a foot race and he's gone. Dylan Sampson, touchdown.
This is the radio home of the Cleveland Browns. 92.3 The Fan.
I'm going to get to these calls here in a second. 216-474-0092. Yeah, I didn't think that Jerry Judy should have really spoken to the media last week if he was going to, have a minute 30 press conference. I just think it made him look bad and it brought more attention to a not great situation.
It was a minute 10. You're giving him 20 extra.
No. He cut out the silence. On the original cut, it was actually like a minute 45.
You cannot include the silence as being in the press
yes, you
conference.
can.
No.
Yes, you can. You have to explore the space.
Then why didn't we leave it?
Because it would have set off the dead air bells. That's
then
why
it
we
doesn't
didn't
count, Ken.
Okay, all right. So he was out there for a minute 10. He was out there for a minute 45, but only spoke for a minute 10 with the questions. Basically, he spoke for about 15 seconds. That said, I know everybody's mad at him, and we're ready to take the gloves off on him. If he would have, I saw guys in Browns uniforms walk around out there. I've seen guys that you guys all love refuse to go back into a football game, refuse to go into a football game. I'm not going to say who. And Owen knows, and you know over there. And I ain't going to say his name. Ain't going to get that out of me. But you guys all love him, and he flatly refused to play for you at one point. Okay?
Let the record show it's not Baker Mayfield.
No. He flatly, and he claims to love you guys. Anyway, I'm not going to hold it against Jerry. Well, I got to hold it against Jerry Judy because it was a silly play, and I wish you'd have held on to the ball. I wish my voice worked right now so I'd be able to make this point better. But if he's walking around slack-assing, if he's refusing to go into the game and help out his teammates, then I'll say sit your ass on the bench. You can't just, I'm still kind of miffed at you, where it's like, well, I guess there's just no situation. No, there's no reason to just fly off the handle and say there's no situation to bench a pro player. But I'm not just going to bench him despite my own football team.
Well, I guess part of it is, too, I don't know the conversations they've been having with Jerry all season. I'm sure he's been frustrated.
Well, clearly they're pretty good conversations, really productive considering how great he was in the media last week.
The thing is, that stuff we're not privy to, so I have no idea if he's doing everything they're asking of him and the drops are just, hey, receivers are going to drop passes. Granted, some drop more than others, and he's led the league over the last 2 years in drops, but you're not going to bench a guy for drops. It kind of comes with the territory of having a player like that where they think he can make up for it in other areas. And he just hasn't been able to this year. Again, not all on him. He hasn't had quarterback play that I'm sure there are a lot of plays. He's wide open. And if he was playing with Joe Burrow,
there was a player
Jerry Judy would have twice the yards this year.
There was a player I played later in that game, I believe. He was wide open on wheel routes. He didn't see. Oh, no, I think he didn't miss him. He just threw to somebody else. It was like a check down. Apparently, though, you're not supposed to do checkdowns or only do checkdowns when Connor Orr decides that you're allowed to do checkdowns. I'm not sure. But either way.
So I'm not, obviously, that's a big part of it. I always wonder, Ken, if you were a head coach, when do you use the tool of a benching? Because we talked about it when they lost the game with the offsides penalty, which they probably would have lost anyway. But you never know.
It's a great question.
When do you cut a guy? When do you bench a guy? You can only use those tools so much. You can't be benching guys. Like the Jets. Who's the Jets head coach?
The Jets head coach is Aaron Glenn.
And Aaron Glenn benched the brother of Quinnen Williams.
It's Quincy Williams, who's his brother.
Yeah, and you know what? It's actually sparked him a little bit. So it actually worked out.
Quincy Williams ain't no dummy. Quincy Williams was right. I mean, if you want to talk about standing up the media, he says, no, I haven't been good this year. Mm-hmm. And it's a results business, and I've not given the results. Now, you had an injury there, and he's come back, and immediately he got the chance to play better, and he did play better, so it cleared the cobwebs there. I understand what you're saying there. There's a time, if a guy's playing really poorly, and he's played poorly, I get that. I mean, he's had drops this year. He's had situations. I think that it's been flighty. It's been a bad year with Jerry Judy. But I also look at it and go, is it helping out my quarterback? Is it helping out my offense to take him off the field? It doesn't. Their situation is it helps them. They believe it helps their defense at that time to take him off the field. Now they've got better play out of Quincy Williams because of that. So definitely that point, that's a hell of a point to use against me. You're right about that. But I still don't think it helps my football team to do that because I don't think he's half-assing it. I think there's a lack in concentration. I think there might be a pressing of some level. I think he's dropped a couple of balls here this year where he's been running before he's caught the ball because I think he's trying to get everything he can. And I look at that and I take that all in. But I go back to the situation. What are the circumstances I know I might bench a guy? Well, if you give up on your team on the field, if you give up on your team in the locker room, if you create a distraction or a problem. Well, he started to create a bit of a distraction there. I don't think, though, on the field he created a problem. And then, again, if he would have had that fumble and then just stalked off and didn't want to talk to anybody, maybe I'd have a problem with it. Sat right down with Shedeur Sanders. So it wasn't as if he said bleep all you and decided to be a diva about it. I mean, he's a wide receiver. There's diva in there. But it wasn't like he said bleep all you and walked off. I mean, he sat down with his quarterback and tried to get this thing figured out. And so, no, I'm not going to bench a guy over that. And if it were a laziness issue or a quitting on your teammates issue, I'd bench him. But I think it was an honest mistake, and I don't know what I get. Like when really good running backs fumble the ball. Guys fumble the ball every now and then. It happens.
Yeah, McCaffrey fumbled it last night. I was going to ask you about that too because
am I punishing myself if I take him off the field?
Yeah,
I think I am.
But there are times, like I think Ramondre Stevenson fumbled a few times earlier this year and got benched. So I do think coaches can say, hey, we've worked on something all year. And on that one, that was not a fluke. That was you making a mistake. I'm just saying in given situations, it all is going to be case by case.
But you're also...
I'm just saying, do the Browns players ever get benched? Does it ever happen? They've been terrible for 2 straight years, and I don't see anybody getting benched.
No, we've bitched about a lot of accountability this year. And I'm not saying the accountability as a whole, I would agree with you on, but I just don't think that Jerry is an example of the lack of accountability. I'm sure you disagree, and I'm sure plenty of people do. But if I saw effort as an issue, then that's a lack of accountability. If I saw team meetings, things of that nature, being off the field, talking to your teammates, being with your teammates, learning the game, if I thought that was an issue, then that's a lack of accountability. There's been plenty of lacks of accountability over the last 6 years with Kevin Stefanski as head coach, with Andrew Berry as general manager. That's 100% true. But I just didn't think that this one is. I mean, when you bring up Ramondre Stevenson, yeah, they still have Trevion Henderson with them as well. So, okay, you're not going to get the bulk of the carries, but you still got to get some carries. Right now, it's Jerry Judy or really nobody. Do you have a lot of faith in Cedric Tillman? Maybe it's grown
He's
a little
flashed
bit.
a little bit lately, but yeah.
But there's nothing there that tells me this guy's ready to replace him. It's not a net plus. He is not a net plus with this team. And I think maybe by Sunday I could be saying a totally different tune. It's been a very weird roller coaster this year with Jerry Judy. Mostly down, including on Sunday. Tyler and Hudson, you're next up on the Fan. Hello, Tyler.
Hey, gentlemen, what's going on? Good morning.
No, nothing much, Tyler. Go right on ahead, friend.
No, Ken, I just wanted to say, man, I totally agree with you. I think, unfortunately, Jerry Judy is going to have more success against the team's number one corner than any other receiver on this team. I mean, you absolutely need to breathe some new life in there, but, Matt, I agree. I don't think that I think that it's like a mental thing versus like a physical thing of effort, for Jerry Judy out there. So, unfortunately, he is your best option out there, but no, I think that benching him would just be, sensitive. I think that we all got to get over our feelings. And next week, hopefully he can bounce.
Tyler, I thank you very much. And by the way, congratulations on all your success. I forgot you were in Hudson. But I also agree with you on that. And also, it would be uneven in terms of what's punishable, what's not. If, again, he were giving me, and by the way, Nathan brought up a route, and that's something we're paying attention to. If he were to give me a bunch of slack-ass efforts on routes, if he were to be pouting out there on the field and not helping to try to contribute to a victory, then you go, okay, maybe Jamari Thrash is just going to give me effort, and I'm just going to go with an effort guy. At least he's out there going to give me his best, because this guy isn't going to give me his best. And if he's going to pout and bitch and moan, then that's going to be the end of it. I mean, you could always do that. I mean, that's happened. That's happened with guys. By the way, what's going on with Keon Coleman over there in Buffalo? It's like 2 games or 3 games now. I don't know what's happening there.
They loved him after the draft.
Yeah,
I remember
did.
that.
And then I don't know what's going on.
Great interview. Great personality. Him and Josh Allen are going to be a Hall of Fame duo.
Saying he's falling asleep in meetings and giving him a chance. I don't know what's going on there. Evan and Lyndhurst, you're next up on the Fan.
Yes. I just wanted to defend Jerry Judy a little bit. I know the fumble was awful, but like a few quarter later, that Dylan Sampson 20-yard run, Jerry Judy's 20 yards down the field, blocking the corner, allowing Dylan Sampson to get down there. So, I mean, he's still giving effort. He's still good at blocking. I know receiving, you got to catch the ball. We got to clean that up because him and Tillman have got to finish their routes. Shadur's going to throw him the ball, and we need to get those completions if we want to beat San Francisco. I'll hang up and listen.
No, I think you're right about that, Evan. Thank you very much for the call. I think that now is the time, and I don't want to just not pay attention to everything guys are doing. Now is the time to really put a microscope on everybody. We are not out of the woods with Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski yet. I think it's about 50-50 right now with these guys on whether or not they're coming back. So that's going to make people probably root against the Browns in a way because they don't want these guys around. And I know they get very annoyed with us for saying we like them and all that other stuff, and especially the call from Chris in Texas yesterday. Go back on the Fan and hear that 92.3 The Fan on the free Odyssey app. If we're going to evaluate, the microscope is on everybody. Now is not the time to start walking around and giving a slack effort. So these are the things you pay attention to. And if Jerry could have made up for it by that, and Jerry did make up for it by that performance, then that's part of the things that we don't necessarily pay attention to, because we always watch a guy with the ball. If you're able to make up with that, that's something that we see on film, that they see on film, I should say, and that they'll be excited about. And go, hey, there's a guy who's having a tough day at the office and still contributing to his football team in a victory. That is something you highlight in terms of leadership. 216-474-0092. What can Shador do to hold on to this job right now? And he was at the facility yesterday. How do I open up this offense with him? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, take us with you to work on the free Odyssey app. Oh, by the way, we do have a market watch coming up. Shador, did he raise the ticket prices, or are they the same? We'll talk about that coming up in 5 on the Fan. KC Roofing.
4:37 of the game. The Cavs held out 7 players because of injuries or rest last night. The Raptors win their 8th in a row, and they sweep the Cavs in the season series for the first time since the 2019-20 season. Don't miss the Kevin Stefanski Show, 7 o'clock tonight, right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Shedeur was named the starter yesterday. Does that mean that the ticket prices have changed, Tone?
Not really. Not really. Especially considering, it's San Francisco.
Well, what the hell are we doing here?
Well, when San Francisco comes to town, typically it's been a big ticket. Even when we beat them in that crazy game when they came in undefeated, I think they were 4-0, and P.J. Walker was the starting quarterback, and Stefanski. Somehow they found enough offense to win that game. It was ugly, really, really ugly game. Defense dominated. I know they were way more than what I'm seeing right here. I know the weather is not supposed to be great on Sunday. Could change, but Tanchek texted me and said, wintry mix.
Tanchek texted you?
Yeah. But that's today.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, $30 is
Scott
the get in.
hasn't texted me.
$30. Anybody? Shedeur fans, listen up. If you're anywhere near the region or you want to catch a flight into Northeast Ohio this weekend, these tickets are cheaper than what they were in Boulder the last 2 years. Because those are the hottest tickets, some of the hottest tickets in the country.
You telling some of our listeners in Colorado to fly out here?
This would be the cheapest experience they could get compared to going to Boulder. No, the hotel rooms are cheaper here than they were out there, too.
You said get-in price is $30. Is that where it is at the 537?
Yeah.
537 is $30?
33.
Okay. Take that. Are you surprised that it's not higher?
I am.
Really?
Especially, I wondered, are they waiting to see if he's officially the starter? Even though you and I both thought that was the case before they made the announcement yesterday, and the demand just isn't there. I'm very surprised with as big of a fan base that Shedeur has that they are not going to this game.
Okay. I guess I'm a little bit surprised,
Do you read into that at all? Owen, are you surprised?
Not yet. It's Tuesday. It is... I don't know. I think the holiday throws everything off.
Oh,
I thought that meant that people would be in from out of town. College kids would be home.
I agree with you, but
hometown Browns fans might. But if you are,
your other problem is if you're doing hometown holiday tickets, right? You got the Steelers after Christmas.
Nah, Owen's right. If you are, say you're a Shedeur fan and you live in Tallahassee, Florida. Okay, you're a big Dion fan, big Shedeur fan, right? You get in all the arguments and things like that. If you're a big Shedeur fan, but it's Thanksgiving weekend, it's I might be going to my aunt's house. My aunt might live in Houston, Texas, so you're going to Houston, Texas, but then you're coming back because it's Sunday. You got to go to work on Monday. You're not going to go up to Cleveland. You already had your plan for the holiday, so you're going tomorrow to go to your aunt's house in Houston. You're just not going to do that. It's not going to happen. So if it were another week, maybe if it were next week, say he plays well against San Francisco,
yeah,
and then he goes out against Tennessee. Well, if you go out against Tennessee, a lot of people think you're probably going to win against Tennessee. So then maybe some people will go, okay, you know what? I got some time now. I'm going to use some PTO. I might fly up there to go to Cleveland and go see Shedeur play, and then head on back home on Monday or something like that. Maybe they'll do that. But because it's a holiday, they probably got their own plans.
But the Titans tickets, $20. This is as cheap as it gets in the NFL. I looked around the league. This is the second cheapest ticket coming up for the slate of games this week. You got Detroit. Tickets are $400. Granted, it's on Thursday. That's a tradition-rich game.
I'm going to have to leave early on Sunday morning. I didn't realize this. I'm going to be coming in from Youngstown.
Yep.
Sunday morning, high of 38, rain, snow mix. Tanchek is right, 71% chance.
Wait, we're both going to be in Youngstown on Saturday?
Yeah.
And you're going to be watching Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah.
And I'll be at Youngstown State versus Yale FCS first-round playoffs.
Yeah, and I'll be the one who's drunk. What are you looking at me like that for? Okay.
Just text me during the Ohio State game about what's going on.
No, you don't want me to text you during the Ohio State game about what's going on. I'm sure you're...
You see who I'm doing the game with?
Marcus Ray.
Michigan, national champion.
I'm sure you'll have it on somewhere in there. You can see what the game's going on with. Are you getting nervous yet?
About Whether or not...
What do you mean about what?
About whether or not Julian Sain's going to have his wide receivers to throw to?
Yeah.
I'm a little shaky. I will say that because they've had...
You're hemming and hawing an awful lot over there.
Real quick, in this game, they have had the likes, and they've lost 4 in a row. They've had Smith and Jigbo, who's the best receiver in the NFL this year. They've had Garrett Wilson. They've had Olave. They've had Harrison Jr. They've had Ibuka. Carnell Tate last year. Jeremiah Smith last year. Lost. And this year, right now, I don't know, are either of them going to play?
They're going to win this game on Saturday. They win this game. I'm sick and tired. It's weird. Come on. You have. Go ahead.
Are they going to play? We've got some audio from Jeremiah Smith himself.
Okay.
On Caleb Downs' podcast.
All right.
Here it is.
First things first. You know it's on everybody's mind. You know the question. How we doing? How we feeling? How we doing?
I'm feeling good. Dealing with a little situation, injury-wise, but I should be good to go Saturday.
It took him long enough to answer that question.
And Ryan Day, we played the audio earlier. He's like, well, hoping to get him ready. Didn't seem like the most confident guy in the world.
Oh my God. You guys, even without those guys, you're not gonna lose that game. Ain't gonna happen again. It can't happen again. I swear, of course you want to make me out to be the biggest bastard who ever lived and thinking of telling people I'm a Michigan fan. I'm not a Michigan fan. However...
Well, I just know this. Ohio State, the one thing you've been able to get them on all year has been the schedule, right? Because Texas didn't end up being as good.
Mm-hmm.
And they struggled mightily in that game. That was not... Now, they didn't let Sayin open it up the way they would a little bit later in the season. They didn't know maybe just how accurate he was going to be. But... That's the one thing the critics have said about Ohio State all year. Your schedule. And Ohio State, they haven't needed to show anything, so they've kind of slow-rolled it. These have looked like controlled scrimmages for the most part. At no point were any of these teams a threat to beat them.
No.
Really since the Texas game. And now, if you were to, for whatever reason, again, lose to Michigan, you would not be in the Big Ten championship, right? Mm-hmm. And people would be saying, this team looks very vulnerable now. Like... You go from everybody just assuming they're going to walk through the playoff into the national championship to all of a sudden Saturday could put a big time scare into you.
Yeah, true. I think you'll be fine. By the way, it's the Downs to Business podcast. This is Caleb Downs' podcast, by the way. Listen, I know, again, you make me out to be the big Michigan fan. I'm not. I'm an Akron fan. We're 5-7. That's middle of the road, by the way. Are we middle of the road now?
Yes.
All right, 5-7 is middle of the road, so don't be calling us a doormat right now. We lost to Kent State. Kent State's middle of the road too, guys. The tide is rising in Northeast Ohio with college football.
Yes,
got Youngstown State in the playoffs. Got two middle of the road MAC schools
Mount
here.
Union.
We're cooking now, baby. We got Mount Union. We got it
to
going.
Make their playoff run.
We got it going. But there ain't no way you're losing that game on Saturday. You can't lose that game on Saturday. You do that, I don't know when I'm ever going to pick you to win again. I mean, that's asinine. You can't lose that game again. You've lost 4 in a row or 5 in a row now. 4? Is it 4? I lost count.
They didn't play
5?
in 2020.
Well, they ran away.
21, 22, 23, 24.
Game.
4 in a row. 4 in a row. Well, ain't going to happen again. Matt on the road, you're next up on the fan. Hello, Matt.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Horrible.
Yeah, so first off, Ken, I'm sure you're happy about this being the Michigan fan.
I'm not a Michigan fan. I'm not a Michigan fan. No. You are full of it. All of you are full of it. No.
I hate that they turned Mr. Brightside into a stadium song there. Like that is a admittingly cool tradition, and that really irks me even more about that school. But like, I think we need to start having a culture talk with Ohio State. It's like last year seemed like an exception, but how many years has it seemed like it's been where there was these like top wide receivers like just missing large chunks of the season? And I know. Soft tissue injuries are a thing and wear and tear is a thing, but is it like a strength and conditioning thing at Ohio State? Is it a culture thing? Like say what you want about Alabama and Saban, but I feel like you never saw those guys they're big guys ever missing big games. Like I don't know what's going on with Ohio State. Like I do feel like Day is a different coach this year. I mean. Here's the thing: we should win on Saturday, but I feel like I'm at the point of I don't know, I feel like I have to like kind of hold my breath again, because is it going to be that stupid game plan from last year where we just run the ball up the middle 70 times?
Well, I think you can see a little bit when he takes over the offense, which is fine, which is perfectly fine. The other part of it is that I do think you have a better situation with your defensive coordinator. I think you have better defensive players than you've had in the past. I think you've been fine. I think you'll be fine there. I think you could choke out Michigan offensively. Bryce Underwood, I think, is going to be a lot better in a couple years than he is right now. So I think that this time is not the very big threat for it. Now, that might just mean that they go out and they play loose and everything's going to be fine. Let me tell you this, Matt. I'm sorry. I started laughing. You really don't like that Michigan plays Mr. Brightside. I mean, this really is a song about a guy watching his girlfriend have sex with another guy. You're basically upset that they've taken a song about a cuck and made it a third quarter tradition.
I here's the thing. I obviously get that it's like a song about a beat down guy watching his girlfriend. But I'm just saying it's like, it kind of turned into like the new stadium tradition. I'm like, darn it, that could have been us. Like just coming up with a new song or something.
Hell
but we did come up with Seven Nation Army. So that kind of beats everything.
You have, and Matt, thank you for the call. You guys got Hang On Sloopy. You guys got everything you need. You don't need any new music. No new music is needed. It's perfectly fine. Someday something's going to happen. It's got to happen naturally. It happened naturally with Michigan, but of all the songs, and by the way, it's a good song, but at the end of it, I just envisioned some guy looking through the window while his girlfriend's having sex with some other guy. Is it not? Is that what it is?
And the question is Ken enjoying the vision of that?
I'm not enjoying it for the guy. I wonder why he isn't banging down the door going, what the hell's going on?
I mean, Ken, they got pictures of you in Michigan gear. I mean, it looks like you're ready to coach
AI.
the team.
That's ridiculous.
That's not AI. That is not AI.
You wore that in
hate
last
Ohio
year.
State.
I don't hate Ohio State. That's fake.
Oh, that's absolutely real.
You guys did that stuff.
I have seen you every day for at least 10 years.
You guys made that stuff before it was AI, and now here with the AI coming in, and now you just have this going on. That's not the case. It's not the case. 216-474-009. Don't crack your knuckles right into the microphone.
He's mad about the Mr. Brightside, too.
I just want to know if Ohio State's going to have their receivers that have been, projected top 5 picks over the next 2 years. That'd be nice.
You'll be fine. You will be fine. All right, take one more on this. What the hell? Frank and Gates Mills, you go right to the front of the line. Congratulations on all your success. You're next up on the Fan.
Thank you for the quick turnaround on picking up that.
Well, I got a bunch of Shador callers, and we're talking about this. I said, what the hell? Let's put them right to the top.
Ken turning his back on Shador's fan base.
Ken, did you think we were going to be okay last year?
Yeah, I did.
I did too.
I mean, so did I. I think
it can't happen again. It can't happen again. It can't happen again.
Weather is not going to cooperate for the type of game we want to play. And
what's that got to do with the price of fish?
What do you mean?
What do you? What? Are you trying to? Because it's going to be 31 and snowing on Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem.
Why is that a problem?
Because I think we're going to try to throw the ball like we haven't done in the past. And if it's cold, Julian's saying the California guy is going to have some problems.
CJ Stroud. Hold on, Frank. CJ Stroud is from California. Didn't he do just fine against Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay. Justin Fields is from Georgia. Didn't he do just fine against Michigan?
I get it, Ken, but you're so confident. But last year, I'm sure you were singing the same tune, and it was embarrassing.
No, because you guys got you Ohio State fans need to stop living in your fears.
CJ Stroud was 0-2 versus Michigan.
Oh, he was?
By the way,
I thought he won against Michigan
California has ski slopes.
Yeah.
So does Chesterland.
Boom.
He got it. He got it in there.
All right, Fred, you Ohio State fans, I can't believe I'm saying this. You guys got to stop living in your fears. Okay, everybody else knows you guys as the most arrogant fan base that has ever been invented, which every fan base is arrogant, by the way. It just depends on who's champion recently. Frank, thank you for the call.
We just have more of them. We have more of those fans.
You Ohio State fans you guys need to stop living in your fears about this. Stop sitting there. Act like you're supposed to act. You're big on NIL. You're big on talent. It was a total devastating loss last year, and even the year before against Michigan. Those I'm not gonna give you any pass on. They were devastating, embarrassing losses, and you should have been embarrassed and devastated because of those losses. You're still a better football team. You need to go in like that. Stop sitting there giving people credit for something they don't deserve. Sherrone Moore is not the coach that Ryan Day is. It's an embarrassment and an insult to the profession that he has beaten Ryan Day. It should be an insult to Ryan Day. You know damn well that this is ridiculous. Stop giving credit where credit is not due. If you wanted to talk Jim Harbaugh is a hell of a football coach. If you wanted to talk him, fine. You think Sherrone Moore is better than Ryan Day?
No.
Exactly.
No.
So stop giving a bunch of credit where it's not due.
But in this game, Ryan Day is not
versus Ryan Day.
Yeah, in this game, Ryan Day is not Ryan Day.
And
that's the problem.
And that's what makes it that much. But it doesn't mean you lower your standard based on that. You don't lower your standard. You go, that's your problem. Right? Stop shaking your head at me. You know it's true.
Two references that you've made. You kept bringing up C.J. Stroud, who's 0-2 against them.
Okay, I got it wrong.
Didn't he do fine?
I got it wrong.
No, he lost. He's a loser to Michigan.
Doesn't matter about it. You should still be that much.
Well,
there's
everything
you've
used as an example has been proven wrong.
No, that's
so your high horse soapbox thing that you're doing right now is also wrong.
It doesn't matter if it's wrong. I'm telling you should hold yourself to a higher standard. Don't lower your standard because you've been let down. Don't lower your standard as an Ohio State fan. You're not even an Ohio State fan. You're the one arguing. See, this is what makes it sad, is that you're an Oklahoma fan arguing for him because he wants to be a sad bastard over there because he's singing Mr. Brightside in his head.
Because you're wrong.
I might have been wrong when it came to the fact on that, but I am not wrong when it comes to the spirit.
Was a lineman in Oklahoma.
Great. What's that going to get you?
The price of fish.
There you go.
The third time we've said it today.
Coming up next, what's Shador got to do to keep that job? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on The Fan.
Brad Evans here. clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When you want the latest on the Browns, we're the station you turn to first. 92.3 The Fan is Cleveland's home for breaking sports news. Your teams, your station.
You guys got to know something here right now. I want to thank Coach Moser over at Garrettsville Garfield High School for sending me a T-shirt. I'll show it up in the YouTube chat right now. This is their lifting club, Liftathon 2025. And then I also want to thank Coach Gibbons over at Lake Catholic.
From the famed coaching family.
They're the ones that kind of ended my Streetsboro Rocket season, but that's okay. That's okay. They're still nice people.
Consolation gift.
This is my consolation prize.
It's nice.
Everybody else who goes on Jeopardy gets a leave. I got this. Thank you to them. I just want to say, he needs gear too. Owen needs gear too. Mitchie's got enough gear. His dad's an AD. But they need gear too. I'm thankful for the gear.
We will represent anybody
and
that
I will
watches.
wear it on the show. Thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube Live, whatever high school it is, I don't care. And I'm a total shill.
Anybody that watches YouTube understands that if you send us gear, we will wear the gear.
I will wear it. It's true, except I won't wear Steelers stuff on.
Still waiting for Utah State.
Boy, that's just...
Come on, Calhoun.
I think I know what it is.
What?
It's the basketball program. It's not the football program. They don't make my size in basketball gear. And I think, which, by the way, tell Jared it's fine. They can just send you something. It's okay. I didn't mean to put the boots to you here. Lima needs gear too, guys. Okay, over there. West Geauga High School had a nice season.
There's only so many,
and I know their coach don't want to send me no gear, so I'm sure just send it to Tone.
There's only so many Cleveland Marathon hoodies and zip-ups.
Yeah.
Utah State 6-0, by the way.
Really?
6-0.
Who are they playing?
They got Montana State coming up later this week.
All right, there you go. Big thanks to those at Lake Catholic. Big thanks to those at Garrettsville Garfield High School.
Public, private institution.
It's true. Been to Garfield's football stadium. It's awesome. Awesome. Natural grass, El Natural. You love the natural grass on it, man. All right. What does Shador got to do to keep the job for you, Tone?
Well, I think he should keep the job. I don't care how bad it is this week. And I'm not necessarily expecting it to be bad. It's going to be weird.
It's going to be more difficult.
I'm telling you right now, guys, look at the weather forecast. It'll look exactly like that game. P.J. Walker versus Brock Purdy.
Put that effing picture away. Put that effing picture away. That's not real.
This is real.
That's a fake picture.
That was just sent in.
Hey, we're trying to talk Browns over here and stay on topic. I got my own boss.
Sharon Moore just sent that picture in. It was unboxed.
We did an unboxing. Look at
that face ain't even red. That's not even a whiskey nose. There's not even a whiskey nose on that picture. That's a fake picture.
Did Keith, with our finances, allow a colored printout? Whoa. Wow, I thought it had to be grayscale. No,
crushing it up with a pin of thing.
That's literally $350 and we're out of toner.
See you in hell. I didn't even make the shot in the trash.
Pick that up.
What do you think that he's got to do to keep the job?
I think he keeps the job no matter what. What is the rush to get back to
no matter what?
Yeah, he would have. I mean, if he went around running backwards, if he didn't do it last week, why would we expect him to do it this week?
That's true. I mean, okay, hold on.
17-19 was the score October 2 years ago.
You don't care that it was the Las Vegas Raiders, one of the absolute dumpsters of the NFL.
Without a doubt, we're not going to get the football at midfield every possession, okay? And now special teams, who knows? Because we've actually seen a resurgence in, I think, special teams opportunities in the last month. So good on Bubba Ventrone. So some hosts wanted him fired. They've stepped up a little bit more. Sometimes it takes half a season. But either way, Brock Purdy in that game struggled. He was 12 of 27, 125. And you saw him last night. He did not have that velocity. He wasn't stepping into his throws the right way. Guys, he could have been picked off 5 times in the first half.
You talking about Shador?
No, I'm talking Brock Purdy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Brock Purdy last night. And now it's a short week for San Francisco. Weather's going to be miserable. I don't know. Who do you think that benefits, Kenny?
I think it benefits neither. Okay. I don't think it benefits anybody. I mean, you're giving me a game plan over here. But hold on. I should say this. Let me fix this. Long term, what does Shedeur got to do? Let me make this a better question here for you. What does he got to do to hold on to the job long term? Because if he goes out there, unless I got to pull him from the game because I feel bad for him against San Francisco, and I don't think that's happening. I think that even if he were to turn in a poor performance and is like, okay, you Browns fans need to come back down to earth, which I really think you're talking to a different group of fans. I don't think the Browns fans needed any help coming back down to earth, guys. I want to see him play after a bad performance. If we did that with Dylan Gabriel, I want to do that with Shedeur Sanders. I'm going to do tit for tat. It doesn't matter to me because one guy has a higher ceiling, the other guy doesn't. So one guy I have pegged as a career backup. I have another guy who may not even be a career backup, but damn it, I think that he can be a better quarterback overall than what Dylan Gabriel is if you're able to harness those talents. If he's able to harness those talents, he's got to put in the work too. So to get the job, to keep the job, I need to see a progression in the offense. I need to see a progression in things that he can clearly understand from one week to another. I need to see them open it up more. Now, they have to be able to give him the opportunity. I think they do want to open it up. I'm going to assume if they don't open it up, they don't trust him to do it. And then we can argue whether or not that we believe in the guys in charge, which I think I know I'm going to get my answer from people on that one. But we can say whether or not we believe the guys in charge if they are right to trust or distrust Shedeur with the offense. Because when you're talking about like interceptable balls and things like that, yeah, there were a few against the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't think anybody's making him a Super Bowl winning quarterback or anybody realistic isn't making him a Super Bowl quality quarterback or a Hall of Famer, a All-Pro based on one performance against the Las Vegas Raiders where, no, you were only 11 of 20 for crying out loud. It wasn't like you had to be Hercules out there, but there's going to be a game like that. How do you keep him comfortable? This is going to be another challenge to the head coach, to the offensive coordinator, to the staff in general. I thought they passed with flying colors on Sunday. Disagree with me all you want. If you disagree, I think that you have a preconceived bias. I think that they passed with flying colors. I think that he did a very good job, and he passed as well with flying colors to say, considering how little practice he did have, and I'd like to see more of the same. But it ain't always going to be as easy as it was against the Las Vegas Raiders, Tone.
I obviously, I think, while the Browns can certainly wreak havoc defensively against Brock Purdy and did it 2 years ago, and now it looks like this defense is even better, and obviously Myles Garrett is at another level, and that team had Tebow Samuel, out there. They had Brandon Ayuk. Jennings. I don't even know if Jennings is going to be available after what happened post-game.
I don't know either.
So talent-wise, I think you got a legit shot this week. You're going to need Shedeur to play even better. He's going to have to play, I think even better than he did last week, which I got to say, last week he surprised me. I know he only completed 11 passes, whatever, and there were screens in there. They managed the game well. And I think it's going to be harder to manage because you're not going to have your defense spot you all those great situations that they did this time around. I wonder. In that game, by the way, P.J. Walker threw 34 times. So how many do you think they let Shedeur throw it this week?
Did they have...
Against Robert Saleh.
They didn't have Nick Chubb that game that P.J. Walker played.
Yeah, Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt. Did combined. They had 160 yards on the ground. They ran the ball well in that game.
By the way, Kareem Hunt, another knock against the Browns. How to use him. I mean, he is a Leroy Hoard type back for the Kansas City Chiefs. I know he put the ball on the ground on Sunday, but you get what I'm saying. Got to use it as a knock. Big thanks to everybody who joined us today. John Greco was great. We're back tomorrow. 2-second trivia tomorrow. Hopefully my voice will be in a much better spot. How am I going to do 2-second trivia?
We'll rally the troops. It's game week. Just like Jeremiah Smith-Carnell take out a play, Kenny's got to play tomorrow.
I'll be here. It just might be how it's going. But thanks to everybody who joined us again today. Go listen to John Greco interview. What he believes Shedeur needs to do to keep the job, and what he felt of Jerry Judy's performance or lack thereof back on Sunday. Plus, Lima and I had the knockdown drag out of whether or not to bench Jerry Judy.
Watch him have a huge week.
I hope so.
And what if he's like, they were really hard on me all week in in the meetings.
We're back 6 to 10 tomorrow for Big Country, for Jeff, for Mitch, for the Slippery Wizard, Anthony Lima. I'm Ken Carman. Have a wonderful day, my friends.
Of my silly little rap. Thank you for paying attention and making sure that you're not booing, but you clap.
Go Buckeyes.
Oh, stop.
Sounds good.